Consumer Affairs can have a look at and possibly suggest to the agencies concerned and then come up with the solutions for betterment of the entire curriculum and the process. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your kind words and motivated words. Certainly, these words will help us in making this community, making this society a better society. We are working, sir, for this noble cause with the help of all our scientists, professors, academicians. We are working with this all with the help of you, sir, under your kind guidance. Thank you very much, sir. Today's speaker is he is basically BE in mining and engineering from Osmania University in first rank. He is M.Tech from Banaras Hindu University. He is PhD gold medalist and he is basically National Mineral Awardee in year 2000, long back, 22 years back. He got this National Mineral Award. So, sir, I think that I cannot speak whatsoever you're gaining, whatsoever you have gained in this society. But I can say I have a best speaker today who can not only help us in making our students, in telling our students what they have to do, how this academia can, or how we can help them to become an entrepreneur. The purpose of this whole government is to create more and more entrepreneurs. Please, sir, Professor Dr. Shingam Jantusa, please, sir.
Namaste to everybody. A very good morning to all, and Honorable Joint Secretary Saab and our Ashutosh Saab from Regional Reference Standard Laboratory, Ahmedabad, and all others who have joined online, and also have my group of transdisciplinary, translational, industry-oriented research and academics group with me. I have about 20 PhD scholars from different departments, electronics, computer science, of course, masters from civil, mechanical, all those areas. And after my 2 years as a assistant manager in 1980s, 86 to 88, I took up as a scientist in CSIR, where our president of CSIR, none other than our Narendra Modi Sahab, Honorable Prime Minister, we are inspired to do a lot of research, and that application, after being a scientist for more than 2 decades, about 2 decades in CSIR labs, that is CIMFER, Central Mining and Industry Fuel Research Institution, Dhanbad, and later in Kolar Goldfields. I hope many must have seen, those who are online and offline also here with me. They must have watched that KGF 1 and 2 movie. They must have enjoyed it, but that is not the end of the story. I was working there, staying there near, adjacent to the deepest mine in India, second deepest mine in the world, that is Kolar Goldfields, Champion Reef and Gifford Shack, as a scientist there. With all these experiences, of course, I have more than 120 projects, including ministry, coal mines and all, and MOUs with medical doctors also. We are working with LV Prasad Eye Institute, along with Biomedical Department, Biotechnology, on dry eye research and all this. This is the way how we are working. And I have been inspired by our former director, Dr. S.K. Sarangi Sir, who has laid a good foundation for conducting the best part of the research and took us to NIRF ranking better than many IITs. That's why I used to say with my present director, who is my senior in the college, that we will make it better than IIT. Already it is better than many IITs, and we will make better than the best IITs. That's what has been our aim, and I hope we can do that. But that is possible only when we make policies, when we have a vision, being whether we are administrators, faculty, scientists, CMDs, whatever the people, that industry, that academic institution, technology and research should have a local impact first, and then we should try for global recognition. Unless we can solve the problems which are near to us, where we are located, that's what just a Matru Deva, Matru Bhumi, whatever we say, that unless we serve that, then there is no glory in our saying that we are internationally known or internationally publications, books which are useless in my opinion. It is a burden on the website and a burden in the library and a burden cutting the trees. That is useless in my personal opinion with my limited experience of 35 years. 2 decades as a scientist, more than sweet 16 years as a professor, and a couple of years as a field engineer. With this, now, with the permission of chair and our Ashutosh sir, I continue. And the time given to me, as I could understand, is around 2 hours. Am I right, Ashutosh sir? And uh,
Yes, sir. Even you can extend, sir, if you require. 2 hours is the time. If you want to extend, you can.
what I wish is, generally in any curriculum internationally, whether it is Education 2030 policy of the world or UNESCO, UNO policy, what was made long back, or Institution of Engineers, I am a member of Board of Mining Division and all, where we should not talk continuously for more than 1 hour. I say 50 minutes. Ashutosh Saab, I hope you agree with me. That's why what I want is, after 50 minutes, you just remind me, then we let us have a break and interact with the participants so that they should not sleep. During this course of my presentation, I may be showing so many videos also, but not many, because they may be happy to watch so many movies, but video of a mining or industry may not be, it may look dirty for the people, right? But still, for making a very good chicken biryani, you need some masala in between. So I will be showing all that. But I want that after 45 minutes or 50 minutes, Ashutosh sir, you just remind, and now itself I am telling to all the audience, I don't know how many joined, but I was talking to many people. They made a call to me in the morning, and they said from Directorate General of Mine Safety, various industries, scientists, faculty, scholars, they said they are joining, and some people, they face a problem of registration, they told. Of course, I communicated to Ashutosh sir at that time itself. Later that problem was solved. This is what just I wanted to say before starting to say something more. So the topic is why I made it urgent need. So that I will justify myself. Before that, afterwards I will show urgent need in the sense. Now, when we took the birth, living for some years. So what is urgent need for us? Whether taking a luxurious life with all comforts, is it a urgent need? Or having a good food, good health, is it urgent need? Or a water of good quality, is it urgent need? Or a pure, very good air, which is urgent need? Everybody can say, it is a very simple question. Anybody can say who is living. Of course, मुर्दों को पूछने से कुछ नहीं बताएगा. जो जिंदा है, they can say that air or श्वास लेना वो बहुत जरूरी है. Then only you are living. So that type of urgent need is there for our educational institutions in the world. Why not to our India? And why not to the states which are mineral rich? Because I am more concentrating in this presentation on mineral rich states of India, where we should think of what type of vision we should have, mission we should have, so that my being a born and brought up in mining community, my 2-3 generations are in mining, and my next generation I made purposefully expert in artificial intelligence and computer science, electronics, instrumentation. But they are also working in the mining area, transdisciplinary area. My 2 daughters, Singham Jayadarshana and Singham Science region. So all these, being born and brought up in the mining community, what I look at the states which are mineral rich is, we are having lot of resources, lot of knowledge available in the websites, our Google, whatever you say, but there are some problems with Google. Yesterday I was seeing in the news. But when people are living in that state, why they are mostly under BPL, below poverty line? That means there is something lacking in the education system. There is something lacking in the administrators. Don't feel bitter when I say these words. This is based on my thoda Buddha experience. मैं बोल रहा हूँ बीच बीच में, where we could not make proper policies, although it is made, because I have given so many lectures related to transdisciplinary research, even in Niti Aayog conducted programs also nationally and internationally on this topic. Since NEP 2020 introduced, saying mainly that in NEP 2020 we could think of multidisciplinary word, but there are 2-3 steps ahead where we are supposed to look into as a policy maker, administrator, or as a vice chancellor, as a director of whether they are IITs, universities, whatever it is. Specifically, I am talking about mineral rich areas. Why the people, although we have so much mineral rich, why these people mostly are under BPL? That means there is something wrong, not only mistake, it is a blunder that we are committing, which should be corrected, and that can be corrected not by anything from foreign or from abroad, something else. Somebody went to abroad, did PhD and come back. So not from them, but those who could understand the problem of our own, I mean the state or place or country, whatever, and they try to solve with some innovative, whatever the research science, whatever like. So that is very much required, and next generation should learn that. That has been my meaning, which I followed in my this 35 years of experiences, where I am thankful to our Ashutosh Saab. He has given my biodata. I am not so big, very small, but my aim is, he is molded by my professor, Professor R.D. Singh, who was my guide. So I have been giving tribute to him. I think I kept it here itself. I have given in Institution of Engineers as a member of board, mining division board, council member or honorary secretary, and different boards in different states. I am dedicating to them. Whether it is my own parents, already I told, in mineral rich states it is more applicable. I made it, whether it is Telangana state, our beloved Odisha state, where I am living more than sweet 16 years as a professor here, and Chhattisgarh, where in Chhattisgarh yesterday it was a shocking news that there was an accident, that I will tell. Now our and Jharkhand, uh, with all this exposure, I wanted to communicate that any education, as our Joint Secretaries have rightly said, it should be oriented towards the present requirement. That is not possible by the old system of teaching learning process. That means a teaching based education, I am showing my fingers. Teaching based education is from teacher, and learning based education is from what is required, where our student is. I don't want everybody to become Prime Minister or President of India. I want somebody to be expert as a finance minister, expert as something else. So identifying the skills of the students and then encouraging them in that line, that requires counseling. And fortunately or unfortunately, I did MS counseling and psychotherapy with this aim. I carved my career in that fashion with 2 years in the industry, understanding the problem. This is not my words. My professor used to tell in my days when I was like our Aishwarya madam here and a PhD scholars and faculty here, where you should understand the industry, society, public first. Then doing research means trying to know what are the solutions internationally, and that's what I did. 2 years in the industry, then around 2 decades in premier research institutions in India, CSIR lab and Ministry of Mines as a scientist. Then with all this background, I came to the mineral rich state, that is Odisha, one of the mineral rich state, and where some of my experiences may be useful for our next generation. This has been my career plan all the time, and I hope it is being used successfully, and only outcome-based education research can be told with the feedback of the students and all. So there I have given my gurus, Professor R.D. Singh Saab and Professor D.P. Singh Saab and Dr. T.N. Singh Saab. Professor R.D. Singh Saab was my HOD, and because this is, we are talking to majority of the students, scholars and all, I wanted to give tribute to them. He is no more now, and he is from Banaras, Varanasi. I used to stay with him for a long time while writing a book on underground coal mining. Then Professor D.P. Singh Saab, who has been a vice chancellor for 2-3 universities, Lucknow University, Rewa University and all, where I used to be with him for a long time while doing PhD or interaction and all. And Dr. T.N. Singh is our director of SIMPER when I was there as a scientist. They are guides for my BTech, MTech, and PhD from Banaras Hindu University and Usmania University, and a part of Indian School of Mines also now. With this, there are so many. Even recently, also I have given in international conferences about transdisciplinary research and then how it can be applicable. Because as a mining engineer, I cannot solve all the problems. Now I need the help of, and that help, how I should seek the help. I cannot depend with my limited experience or knowledge what I have. I don't encourage multidisciplinary research, what is written in NEP 2020. That has a very limited scope, which requires a lot of modifications in that. And how it is, I will justify later in slides also. And this is what I seek, as I was telling yesterday only, we lost in a limestone mine, Chhattisgarh. This accident took place at Bastar, where 6 women among 7 dead. That is a news. It is not from my side. This is a news item. I kept it here. But being born and brought up in mining community, Telangana state, I felt very sad and shocked to hear this news. That's why I request, if it is convenient, to all here, since we are getting all the energy, 60-70% from the mines with which we are running this computer, we are able to see each other. And a tribute to them, we lost them at least just for a minute. I took that permission from our organizer in the morning itself or immediately after knowing the news. This is just a morning, just for a minute, for Sadgati Prapti Rastu to the lives lost, and deep condolences to their family members. And soon after, I will continue my presentation, please. Thank you very much. So, as I said already, we are concentrating more on our scholars, students, trainers, trainees, or academics, industry, everybody. Wherever you are, you may be in the industry, knowledge should flow like a river water, whatever we learn. It should not be stored as pond water. That's what I learned from my parents and my gurus. I'm giving this as a, that is for these 3 I's, whatever I kept, I and I, is not number 3 or 3rd category, but it is industry institute interaction. That knowledge should grow. Knowledge, when you give to the industry, then only we can grow. We can think of some more innovations, as our Joint Secretary Saab rightly said, and Ashutosh Saab also. How we will give some guidance to what is required for the society now, for the industries now, unless we know about it. That means we should have that much of awareness, exposure, all those things. Then only we can guide properly. Otherwise, all your PhD, MTech, and BTech will remain on paper. And we have seen so many cases of even bribing and so many things like that, where they are not studied anything, they got a degree and they are roaming on the roads without any skills. So in that way, we should be highly thankful to our Joint Secretary Saab and Niti Aayog and Government of India, to everybody, policy makers, that they could come up with Atmanirbhar Bharat, Skill India, Make in India, and Make in Odisha. Now it is in progress, where I am going tomorrow to that place. Bhubaneswar, already I told us those. So all these are should be able to create more education, more literated persons, so that they can develop the skills to solve the present problems through their education, whether it is education in the technology, education in the science, education in the whatever, engineering, whatever the terms, buzzwords you use. So that is what is a main aim. And in this outline, just I would like to say, I will not show so many things since we have ample of time. And one more thing is, I used to tell Ramayana can be told within 2 minutes, even 2 days also not sufficient. So that's why within that time, I would like to say or limit myself and take from time to time some editing of time also from our Ashutosh sir, so that I will break at that time. Now, I will be more interested to interact on the issues for education and research both with my experiences equally around two decades, 1.5 decades, both as a scientist, as a professor and industry person. Sustainable development goals, and don't worry, I am not going to show you what is sustainable development goal, but importance I wanted to give to that. And then that Paris Agreement or net zero, vision zero, whatever we are aiming for, as our Joint Secretaries have also told just now about 2047 and other things, where we are planning for this net zero and other things and extending that 2030 and 2040. Now it is pushed towards 2070 nowadays, right? And there also we have some other carrying capacity, whether it is a water, whether it is a air, whether it is a earth, whatever it is, carrying capacity so that some of the mischievous things as a person, as a babies of our mother earth, we may be doing it. So our mother has that much capacity, that much forgiveness, that much of big heart to consume and to forgive. And that is what is a carrying capacity of water or Ganga, Damodar basin. So many things are there like that. So if you consider all those things and take up some innovative measures, then of course that 2070 you can drag down to 2060 or 65. That's what is my personal feeling. And for that, what we want, I mean, what from my side is my personal opinion, as a stakeholder or as a policy maker, or it may be as a leader in the educational and research educations or institutions in India, we should aim for starting startups, incubation and all have been given a lot of emphasis. It is fine. But how much is implementation? Not on paper. On paper, so many things are there. In the website, so many things are there. And many things which are useless are also there in international journals. Right. So, but we want that our next generation should be focused on outcome-based research and education. Both. It is not only outcome-based education, research and education. There I added TTIORA. This word I have coined in 2006 when I came after 2 decades as a scientist to the academic field with that intention. I don't know how much I may be useful for India or for the educational institutions later. So there I will be giving some more emphasis, as already I told, about transdisciplinary, translational, and industry-oriented with a main theme. Of course, this theme was coined for mining and other industries, but it can be applicable to other industries also. It can be for stability, SSS, 3S. So in out of these 3S, nothing is signifying Singham, my surname, but these 3S are stability, safety, and sustainability for any industries, whatever it is. It can be your institutions, academic institutions. It can be research institutions. It can be anything that should be stable enough to prolong for a long time with sustainability, safety. Of course, unless you are safe, healthy enough, there is no life. There is no point of doing anything. That's why I used to say, if there are so many problems. Yesterday, I got a phone call from one vice president of some mines. They wanted immediately to visit the mine and do something. Now, that means acceptability by the industry of our scientists, our educationists, whoever are their technologists in the academic field. That is very much required. That is possible only by institute-industry interaction. That is the 3 I's which are very much required. And for that, NEP 2020 goals, I am not going to show NEP 2020 goals in my presentation because everybody knows about it. Whenever they write somewhere NEP 2020, they will get everything. So many videos and so much of material. Buckets full of information is there. Explosion of information. So only just to address I have written here. And in that way, what are the R&D thrust areas? Since we are we are trying to focus on research and also education. Thrust areas already identified by different policymakers, whether they are from Ministry Coal or DST or SERB or Ministry Mines or CMPDI, Coal India, whatever, wherever I was working with all my experiences of conducting more than 120 projects till now. More than 10 projects are ongoing now. One of that in Bhubaneswar in Odisha, where I am going tomorrow, will be there. In Trident Academy of Technology, I made them as a partner, where we have from Ministry Mines 50 lakhs given there to establish artificial intelligence, wireless sensor network, IoT lab for Minds project is a part of that. This is a way how we used to encourage, and you may be surprised who are the collaborators with me. They are all from computer science, HODs, deans from CSE background, electronics, instrumentation, and this is what I have been encouraging since 2006 here as a professor in NIT Rourkela. And in that way, we are very fortunate to have a very energetic director, Professor K.U.M. Rao, who is also my senior in the college, with whom I was studying for 1 year. We are very fortunate to have that. Definitely, that will accelerate our efforts in future to come better than many IITs and other institutions to take up. Then R&D thrust areas in that way. For many industries, anybody can see, but especially where transdisciplinary application as a computer science engineer, as an electronics engineer, as a medical doctor, as a geologist, as a biotechnologist, as a textile engineer, technologist, fashion design, fashion technology, apparel technology, how this can be useful for mining industry, I can say, based on my experiences. And already we are doing a lot of projects in different areas. That also I will try to say something on that along with my team of transdisciplinary research, whatever I have. I hope more than 15 PhD scholars, other people also joined, must have joined. I am not able to see in this. Now, in that way, role of different departments. Now, don't take it only for mining industry. It can be for any industries. How electronics, instrumentation, communication engineering can be applied, whether it is cinematography for a beautiful movies like RRR, right? It can be for dealing with even the mines and the worst situations or disasters, whatever we have seen. It can be to that, or it can be in any industries. It can be even for manufacturing industries, even a computer. Whatever computer we are seeing, why I am emphasizing mining is, already I told you, I can answer more better, I can justify more better as a mining engineer than any other engineer. But I will be taking help of other engineers in the, not a help of multidisciplinary group, not a help of interdisciplinary group. I am making it very clear. Not a help in that way, but help as a group of transdisciplinary. What is the difference? I will explain later. So whether it is a role of computer science, IT, role of mechanical engineering, civil engineering, what role they can make as electrical engineering. And here, while telling about this itself, I want to say something more. And I have already so many PhDs already completed from electronics background, electrical and power quality improvement, because there may be some problem with the electricity. That's why I stopped at electrical here, Ashutosh, and showing that I kept with a safety factor 2-3 of my PhD, MTech and faculty here with me, my PPT loaded in their computer, also laptop, with facility if there may be some problem of electricity, when what I should do. So all that arrangements I made it here. That's why I stopped at electrical, where we are spending about 0.3 kgs of coal to generate 1 unit power. That means for which we are paying 6 rupees, I am spending 0.3 kg of coal, and each kg of coal costs 2 rupees. तो 2 रुपया का चावल मिलता था, उतना ये कोल का भी रेट है. अब it is even more costlier than that, depending on the grade, of course. Those issues, depending on interaction, I can say, based on my own experience, my own research, I can say my own research along with my scholars. That credit I give to my scholar students, from whom I learn more. Then chemical engineering, it can be biomedical engineering. Already I told about biomedical, biotechnology. We have a lot of projects where we are having MOA with LV Prasad Institute on dry studies with biomedical, then leachate analysis, and then so many things, environment related pollution issues with biotechnology and all groups, and humanities and social sciences. That is the number one project proposal I have given when I came here along with a psychologist who is now a professor in Utkal University. I don't know, they must have joined somewhere. Professor Paspati Patnaik. She was a HOD in 2006 in NIT Rourkela when I joined as a professor here. I made her as a co-investigator in the SNT project on stress management, that is a trauma and stress management, how it can be done when there are accidents in the mines. Like that, so many things can be done. Then biotechnology, biomedical, I told about it. Medical and health. Now, health, I am not telling only as a science. I want to make it as a technology now. So that technology will make, whether it is a, here also I added textile technology. Fashion, I am not talking about the fashion design where there may be like our Aishwarya madam here, fashion design में जाके पूरा catwalk कर रहा है, ऐसा नहीं है, right? So fashion technology, I want to give importance to that, where depending on the geography and then whatever the place, what type of textile engineering, textile technologies, and how it can be useful for mining industry also I can explain, and apparel technologies, which are there in some part of our India, in some mineral rich states, that also I will address during my presentations, taking some examples of a vision what I look forward for as a policymaker or as a head of any institution, if given a chance, how we should look so that we should solve our own problems first with a local impact, later global recognition. Then counseling technology, that's why I kept, otherwise counseling generally nobody says technology. Otherwise, it is called as a even MS counseling and psychotherapy. That was a degree what I had around 20 years back or 15 years back from different institutions from Bangalore when I was a scientist there. So these are different department how they can, but there are so many additional contents in that. Ashutosh sir, आपके लिए बहुत लाया हूँ. Depending on जितना हमारा इस समय होगा वो करेंगे with breaks in between. तो break तो होना चाहिए. Even महाभारत में भी when it started in 1980s, 86, when I was a student, MTech student in Banaras Hindu University, that Limdi hostel and day hostel, we were there for some time. So there used to be Mahabharat, then there used to be a break in between. So like that breaks भी बीच में लीजिएगा. Then it can be so many things I can address. Transdisciplinary research with interdisciplinary, of course, I will be telling about it. And where my PhD scholars have done very good work on computing, cloud, fog, dew computing, machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence, communications, whether it is a data analytics, voice, image, video, robotics, and sensor networks, where it is, we started, me as a founder in Rourkela itself, international conference on computing and sensor networks that we have been continuing. And in one of that, I have given a keynote speech. Some part also I kept it here, which was there in the Bhubaneswar in Utkal University. I also kept, it will be useful for others. I mean, computer science background, electronics, instrumentation, and others. And for mining industries, of course, for sustainable mining and all. Achha, here I would like to show some video, because when I say mining, so there may be non-mining people here, but I will not show much, only just 1-2 minutes of that clipping, how underground mining appears like, and where other groups, because since that is giving us a bread and butter, I should say. Even I manufacture computer, where from that source? From mines. I am even making some very good printers, or even a part of a food also. Where it is from the mines. There are so many things in addition to agriculture. In that way, mining has been contributing more than 2.5 to 3% of our GDP. And here I would like to say, since I am there in our beloved Odisha here as a localite, I should say I am a local person, right? Although I am from Telangana, Hyderabad, but I am local here over 17 years as a professor here, where 400 crores, Astosa, 400 crores, I was told that per day we are getting for the state from mines as a mineral fund, district mineral fund from different districts. That has been heartening to know, because this information I was trying to gather because of our this presentation. That credit goes to Ashutosh Saab here, where when that much money is coming and how much we are using for developing that place where from it is coming. That's why I said below property level, BPL, why people are there like that. From there, they are mineral rich. उनके नीचे है हमारा, I mean, Mother Earth has given so much wealth, but we are unable to extract properly, utilize it properly. There, I would like to give a lot of emphasis for any institutions, any universities, whether IITs, NITs, universities, central, state, whatever it is. Let us concentrate more on developing the manpower and giving knowledge so that your raw item, that means a raw mineral or raw ore, should not go outside your state. It should go in a product form. Now, where is a contribution of that state? Then I am sure with my limited experience of 35 years that our state or any state which is mineral rich will have a richest people in the world. That I can ensure, I can say with my lot of confidence, 99.99. When you develop your education, when you develop your academics, when you develop your courses, when you develop your, I hope this is also being recorded, I don't know. Ashutosh sir.
Yes, sir. It is recorded, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Because others who could not join because of that are unable to register,
Yes.
they made a call to me. They are
Yes.
making many calls. My students are receiving that. Then I said that it will be recorded. So anytime YouTube link will be available. So
Yes.
in that way, we can make the place where my forefathers, I say in that way, when you take the generations, my Mother Earth is supreme. That is origin for us. Then whatever the people we have seen, my grandfather, I could not see my grandfather, paternal father, maternal I could see. So when they are wealthy, why not I? I mean, why not the people who are living on that earth or on that place? There comes the role as a educationist, as a technologist, as a scientist, as a policy maker, as a government or NGO, whatever it is. In such a way, let us make a policy. Let us make our vision and mission in such a way that nothing should go raw outside that place. Now you should develop the industries. You should develop the products. Products should go where I will give. That should start from the education institution, whether it is IITs, NITs, universities, central, or whatever it is, since we are talking about education research here. Then we are developing the best skilled manpower to take care of their own state, their own place. And that's what is very much required. That is the reason why now you could have understood, or those who are there, urgent need is that. That is the reason why I kept in the title when Ashutosh asked me which title suits better. So that is urgent need, and that's what is very much required. And that has a lot of applications. That then just I am showing that videos already. I opened it here. One first, would you like to see opencast or underground? Ashutosh sir. I mean, surface mine you want to see first or underground?
Sir, please, you share, sir. No problem.
I will take everybody to an
No
underground
problem.
mine first, because Kolar
Please.
Goldfields you have seen, right? Movie. Many are 90% people have seen Kolar Goldfield movie. Yeah, which is available after stresses, even after seeing the. You are able to hear the voice, Ashutosh sir. अच्छा एक पहले ओपन कास्ट का दिखा देते हैं. हाँ, this is I hope you are able to see.
Yes, sir. We are able to see.
Yeah, this is a open cast mine. I don't know whether you are able to hear. Are you able to hear the sound?
Yes, sir. We can. No, sir. We are not able to hear.
The
Okay.
video
In that
sound
case,
is not audible.
Yes. So this is a open cast mine. Now here I wanted to give lot of importance to, since we are getting 60% of energy from the coal mines, you are getting so many minerals, including your steel, iron ore, bauxite, where I am proud to say that our state, I mean my state, Odisha, where I am living now, is rich in minerals, where the best deposits of bauxite or iron ore, something like that. And we have one of the best in coal and other reserves. And in that way, first in so many things. The first goes to even to MCL mines, Mahanadi Coalfields. I was there with their CMD Singh Saab just recently, and also in mining youth conclave recently when I was in Delhi with our Minister of Coal in this program. I don't know whether you are able to see mining youth conclave. So where I took more than 150 students. Uh, that was also the uh, suggestion by the secretaries and all from Ministry Coal and Mines, Ministry Coal especially, where we have taken to that place, Delhi, from different institutions, IITs, NITs, and other institutions. And this is different in industry, in the mining industry. Now I need help of a geologist. Now you can see this is a part of some of the investigation where there was an accident. I went for investigations, but this is almost 15 years back. I think it is 2010 or something like that. Where are 9. There you have machines. I need mechanical engineers. That's what I wanted to highlight and show, where I need different people, geologists, environmentalists. Now I want science people, environmental science, water pollution, air pollution, then different type of instrumentation. Now you can see some instruments used for investigations. So instrumentation engineers, geology, geographic, and all these people. Now you can see how water is getting polluted, or how to deal with that water, rainwater harvesting, typical situations of that mines, and geologists and other people, I mean to say. And of course, this is that failure, whatever I have shown, where civil engineering and other branches of engineering plays a major role as far as that is concerned. In that way, when it goes to underground mine, just I am showing you one. I hope you are able to see now. This is underground mine. Yes, Ashutosh, are you able to see something? Only I can address you, because
No,
in
sir.
any of my talk, I used to take the name of at least 1, 2 students.
No, sir. We are
And
not able to.
I could not see anybody here, so I could see you only. So
No, sir.
generally, why I give importance is, that is to I used to give more importance to my last bencher student, because they are more intelligent than anybody else. You know the reason, Ashutosh sir?
No, sir.
Because no is NO or KNOW. So there I used to say, last benchers can see everybody, but nobody can see them. So they are most intelligent people. That's why I used to address them while talking or giving any seminar. Even whenever I used to give presentation or in international, national, whatever conference, I used to ask at least 1, 2 names in the beginning, and I used to address them. So don't mind if I take in between. Yes, sir. So are you able to see anything on the screen, so sir or anybody else?
Yes, sir.
You are able to see something?
No, sir. No, nothing, sir. Nothing.
That's what I want to say. That is what is underground mining is. So now you can understand where Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya, then we used to light a lamp and start any program. So now you can see this is a Ministry of Coal project, where first time, because I was a project leader for a project of 2.2 crores in 1989 to 90s, where I was living as a scientist in industry area in their quarter. That means I was having 2 houses. Don't mistaken me, not 2 homes, but 2 houses. One is given by Southeastern Coalfield and one is given by our CMRS CSIR lab. So with that much of affection, we used to work. I don't say that people are not having that affection, but whatever the profession we have, we should work with 100% efficiency. That's what I used to say. आप दिल लगा के काम करना, then you will get lot of pleasure, enjoyment. More work should give more pleasure. And I used to tell, even my director used to tell, Dr. T.N. Singh sir, I see through your eyes. Then I used to say same thing to my students, my scholars. Whenever they go to any industry, I see through your eyes. I used to say that means they should understand that problem to such an extent that they should be able to explain and take up that and solve that. That's what I aim for, and I give all my BTech. Now I have along with me some BTech, MTech, and PhD scholars also sitting behind me and adjacent with faculty from civil engineering, biomedical, biotechnology, and all with me offline. With all this PPT loaded in their computer. If there is any problem here, I can also talk in that. So that's what. So now with this, now this is what is underground mine is. Now you can understand this is instrumentation in that. We should carry our own light. That's what is required for our policy makers, for our maybe leaders in education research fields, to come up with some innovative ideas, taking care of the local people or local impact, how much it can give, surrounding. And we should not say that we are great when 60%, 30% people are under below poverty line who are living near my institution, or near my state, or near my district, or near my town, or near my residence. So that should be avoided. I mean, we should concentrate more on that. This is what is that mine is. And now I am taking you, you can see he is a area general manager at that time. आप मुझे थोड़ा थोड़ा देख रहा होगा लाइट में, थोड़ा दाढ़ी वाला, तो that person is me. In 2000, this is a Ministry of Coal project where first time in the world we extracted 3 seams simultaneously. First time in the world, that is experimental, right? Because there are so many mining engineers, scientists, even some directors are there already in the online, and they are from industry also, they know better. But others, those who are not from mining, I am showing that type of innovativeness is required in framing your education policy and other things also. And of course, this is what is that mines, how it looks like. At that time, my instrumentation, I don't have wireless sensor network. I don't have artificial intelligence. I can say I don't have computer. When I was reading in 80s, and I learned computer programming in 1944. No, in Fortran 4 and Fortran 77, as a person in Banaras Hindu University, I made a program. That program is for developed on punch cards. As a part of my MTech, when I was doing it, I was in a line with a punch card in my hand, and then with a compiler in my desktop, whatever was there at that time. So with that, we came up, and now it is a total sea change in the communication system or computing power. So these are that mines, how it appears, but now I need not go and measure like this. So I don't know whether others are able to see. There is one rod like it is appearing, where I was measuring what is a convergence. Now he is a deputy chief controller. Mazumdar is there, who was working with me as a strata control engineer when I was a scientist conducting this Ministry of Coal project as a project leader there. So these are that mines, and these are the instruments at that time. Now I want, and this is a coal coming out. So coal coming out, now you can see how it is coming out in this type of tubs with 1 ton capacity. Now, these are the innovations which are required, where we should give safest, healthiest, and that is possible only by proper education. And I told you in the beginning itself, I'm concentrating more on education policies, maybe requiring some modification later in mineral-rich states. In that way, of course, maybe applicable to all. And this is the mine where from your coal giving this power is coming out at that time. Now we have a lot of technologies, and this is a place where this is called GO for non-mining people, I am telling, where coal is already extracted, but now as a geotechnical engineer, strata control engineer, as a designer of mining methods, I want, because that was my PhD, I did long back as a scientist from Banaras Hindu University, where I made it truly transdisciplinary, truly translational. Based on that, that was a requirement at that time when imported technologies failed. And I was a part of some of the imported technologies, international collaboration, with UK rock mechanics technology, CDF France and Germany, hydraulic mechanics, so many things like that. That we can discuss, but I don't want to say so many things here. Then here, anybody can understand electrical, electronics, computer science, anybody. I want to know what is a behavior of this roof in this place when I extract it, because my persons, hundreds of persons are employed near this. I want to know what is the status of safety and what is the status of its stability. What is the status that makes my sustainable mining practices. That makes me giving good solutions for the problems where I can avoid some type of accidents like Chasnala in 3, where we lost 375 lives in 1970s, I think 72, 75, where later I did some projects in investigations, designing new methods as a scientist in Dhanbad. SIMFAR, at that time it was CMRS under the leadership of Professor B. Singh Saab, where I was working directly with him, and later Dr. T.N. Singh Saab, and then Professor Dy.Dir Saab, who was my teacher. And even last week also I was talking to him. So this is what is required now for taking help of other engineers. As a mining engineer, I cannot do. I can say with 100% confidence that I cannot measure this. I cannot design artificial intelligence, wireless sensor network, IoT, and deep learning, your cloud computing, your fog computing, and dew computing. Now it is very winter season. It is a beautiful atmosphere, even not in the evening. Afternoon also it is very beautiful. That's why we are wearing this sweater also. Right. So these technologies, I need the help. But again, it is unquote, where I don't need help like a multidisciplinary group. I need help like a transdisciplinary group. That may be noted. Now, in that way, this behavior, now you must have seen some beautiful drop of water coming out of this. There will not be purest water than this in the world. This is from 500 meter depth, and water drop. Now you can see when I play. Yes, be careful now. Now the drop is coming down. I don't know whether, yes. Ashutosh साहब देखा साहब? Full
Yes,
screen
sir. Yes,
करने से
sir.
दिखेगा.
Yes, sir. I can see. I can see.
Exactly.
It
So
is
that
500 in
drop
deep.
of water, that drop of policy, that drop of education system, that drop of research, that's what is required. That's what I wanted to highlight. And that is possible by the people who have good experience, who can consider our education institution not as a commercial ground, but as a temple of knowledge. Saraswati Devi as a Bhakti. They should think on their back, in the front, inside heart, Saraswati Devi is there with us. So that type of people are required, that type of policies are required, where we can really contribute to Mother Earth. And that is what is required for our clean technologies, green technologies, and our, whether it is a UN agenda of sustainable development goal, whatever it is, of course, carbon rating and other things. So this is what I wanted to highlight through this video, and this shows different situations. Now, as a mechanical engineer, they can contribute to me how to design this, what type of materials I can use. Now, as a engineer from mechanical industrial design, as a even fashion technology, so many people, let them come. Then even food technology, we started off late food technology in our NIT Rourkela, where this is also required for my people, those who are going underground. I will be showing so many photographs later. They require lot of energy in different form, because that leads to lot of exhaustion when they are facing high humidity, high temperatures. Now it is, even we have mines where air conditioning is done. Now I need air conditioning experts, mechanical, thermal engineering people. Then even in Kolar Goldfields, where I was there, my office is in front of the road on the other side of the deepest in the world mine, Gifford Shaft, and my bungalow was adjacent to that, where I was residing in Kolar Goldfields. So we used to hear microseismic, that is a rock burst, microseismic, geophysicist. All these people are required. That's what I was emphasizing. Geophysicist, as a geophysicist, I don't want. Geophysicist who can understand mining problem. That is a place where it comes as a transdisciplinary understanding of the subject. As even a doctor also I need. Why I need, I will explain later. So, but in a transdisciplinary terms, I need that. And this is the way how it appears. I want civil engineers, stability, reinforcement technologies, roof boards, cable boards, whatever it is. So this is what different type of support systems. Here I have one of my best research associate with me, Atul Gandhi. Is a very senior vice president by this time in so many industries. With me as a scientist at that time, he was there as a research associate. You can see where mechanical engineers, they can design, even plastic technologies, they can come up and do something where they can help in good technologies which are eco-friendly. And that eco-friendly mining, already I told in the beginning itself, where we want, I want to stop at this stage our video. Now continuing with our presentation, I hope Ashutosh Saab will remind me after a class period of 50 minutes.
Sir, now it is 50 minutes.
अच्छा, मेरा कैसा मैचिंग हो गया सर? मुझे पता नहीं, कभी कभी गलती से सही कर देता हूँ मैं. So now I think we can have a small break. A break in the sense
of 5 minutes.
But no, it is not a break, please. It is not break. Break in the sense some questions. Let them give some queries. But I don't know whether it is allowed through your website or not. Let us take some queries or questions or something like that. Then, meanwhile, I will take some hot water. Thanda season, I saw something hot, you should take it. Hot can be anything, but it is hot water only, nothing else inside.
Sir, my request is you kindly share your presentation with the videos so that we can also share with our participants.
Yeah, that we do it, but it is a very big size. I can do that making PDF.
Okay,
please.
please.
We do it, no problem. But now you may announce for 2-3 minutes of queries, some interaction. Please.
Anybody who wants to ask the questions, he may put it in the WhatsApp chat box. In this chat box, you can put your questions, the participants, or otherwise, if you want to ask yourself, you can raise your hands so that I will make you the panelist. If somebody wants to ask the question, please either put it in the chat box or raise your hand. Sir, when I have a curiosity actually.
Yes.
When these we have this much of the facility, like as you are saying that all even ACs are there at the mining places. How these type of accidents takes place when we have this much and now at this 21st century when the science and technology is very high, we have all artificial intelligence, IoT, etc., and we can understand what is happening inside. How these type of accidents happens, because I think that the life is the most precious thing in the world. It cannot be compensated by anything. So how it happens?
Right. So in fact, this is a very genuine question, sir. When people go for this, ये पैसा का दिख रहा है साहब डायरी? ये पैसा का डायरी है.
Yes, sir.
Instead of going for this.
Okay.
This is happening many times because I am in very high power committees of investigation of accidents over so many, more than around 3 decades. As a scientist also, as a professor also. These accidents, I can give n number of examples, but to quote a simple this one, so that others also can easily understand. Compared to any other branch of engineering, in mining what happens is, we are dealing with the natural material in the sense rocks. Other branches of engineering, whether it is a mechanical engineering, to some extent civil engineering also, because they can design their motor, इतना percentage कीजिए, इतना strength आएगा, ये बहुत कुछ कर सकता है. To some extent that also. And other branch, aeronautical engineering or anybody, when they are designing any structure or any designs, excavations, they have the properties of that material almost to the extent of 100%, right property. That means when I say steel of this type or some manganese or some any metal in for mechanical engineer, then its properties, it is isotropic or anisotropic or with this much tensile strength, compressive strength. Then when I design using different approaches, that approaches again can be numerical models or empirical models, or it can be to some extent we don't follow, or with my little experience of 3.5 decades, I don't give importance to numerical models. That is only to understand the phenomena. And what happens in mining engineering and other branch, I wanted to tell why accidents are taking place. Where we design in the place where properties are unknown, and in other branches, when they are designing, properties are known, so result also will be known. Very simple to understand. When I have a design, when I made that this much meter, 3 meter height, 4 or 5 meter width, this will be stable for 100 years, 50 years. I designed it, a tunnel, whatever for that matter. When I design it, I have taken the properties, I measured from one place to other place, and then we have seen that these properties are only 5% right in the mining field, where whatever model you are taking. Reason is very simple. You are designing a tunnel where I have taken a sample from one place, that rock appears to be similar, but it cannot be same. So here, compressive strength I have taken in the model while designing is some X, suppose 20 MPa. But another sample, if I take after 1 meter or 2 meter distance, that may have 15 MPa or 30 MPa. So how my design will work? So this is the main reason, and the difference I used to teach my students as a professor in strata control technology, mining, designing underground mining methods, open cast methods, legislation, all those subjects whenever I teach, including all these subjects, I used to tell them first to understand that there is a difference between solid mechanics and rock mechanics. So this is a basic reason, sir. That's why we go for a lot of instrumentation, for which I need the help of other engineers. Instrumentation engineer, electronics, computer science, artificial intelligence, even to interpret that data. At one place, this may hold good, other place it may not. So probability of prediction. Or even in that way, let me just say, because it is a good question. I was in 1998, I was in USBM, United States Bureau of Mines. Now it is renamed as NIOSH, National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, Pittsburgh. I was also there in Pittsburgh University and West Virginia University. And there is one against whom I was having one international arbitration case for India and France. Depending on the requirement, I can discuss so many things. There, it is said rightly that even you should not use the word prediction. Even you should not use the word in mining, I mean. In mining or rock mechanics, we should not use the word prediction, and we should use as only as a warning. You can give warning with some probability. You cannot predict. Could anybody predict tsunami? It is a counter question to others. It cannot be. This is what is happening with the mines, and that is the reason why we are facing this. So next time we are more vigilant. But next time that incidents may happen with a different trigger level. That's why we have modified our legislation. Recently, one of my good friend, Mr. Subramaniam, he might have joined here, I don't know. Somebody from DGMS definitely must be there. Their directors and deputy director generals. Where he was a colleague with me in Singareni College when I was working. He has given, while retiring, as a Director General of Mine Safety. Now Mr. Prabhat is DGMS from our own, this place only, where we used to discuss he framed one TARP, Trigger Action Response Plan, and we increased even safety factor in the designs. Safety factor of 1 is sufficient, truly speaking, in any design. But we used to have 1.2. For some structures, 2. For some structures, even 10. 10 is for our even winding ropes when I am using in the shaft. That rope should have safety factor of 10 when it is used for man winding, carrying persons. But for materials, it can be less than that. So this is the reasons why this is happening. I can give many examples depending on the time, and then of course they can interact with me anytime. All our beloved participants, they can note down my number 9938303259. Of course, in the last slide I have given, that may come after 1 hour, depending on the time, whatever our Ashutosh Saab is going to give. Right. And sjayantu@yahoo.com. Of course, sjayantu@sjayantu@nitrkl.ac.in. That is my official mail. But वो mail कभी-कभी भर जाता है, इसलिए @yahoo.com also generally I used to see regularly. So anybody can interact with me. It is a pleasure for me to learn from others. Yes, sir. Ashutosh sir. I think Ashutosh Saab is mute.
Sorry, sir. I'm very sorry, sir. We have with us one of our best friend, Mr. Sajal Kanti Jana, who was a joint controller in the legal methodology at Kolkata, West Bengal.
Yes.
And he's having a lot of experience in with the consumer forums, etc. Mr. Sajal.
Namaskar,
Dr.
Sajal sir.
Namaskar.
I am also a member, active member of Consumer Forum, our Rourkela. Our Goswami sir, who is a senior general manager.
Okay.
He is in charge.
Namaste. Jai Jagannath.
Jana sahab, what do you want to say? How we can, the legal methodology can help in this field? Because as I remember, the weighing and measuring part is being done by the legal methodology. The weighing instrument, whether it is in motion or static, weigh bridges, etc. We are helping them. But others, in other way, how we can help them, sir?
We can assist your project, sir. In which way legal methodology can assist of the project of sir?
Sir, basically, what the Sajal Kanti Jana sahab want to say that in the legal methodology is ready to support, is ready to help you wherever you can you can think fit for us for your projects.
Yeah. We would like to assist in the long run for the upliftment of our society also.
It is very much required, sir, as far as our mining industries are concerned. We are facing a lot of problems with this environmental pollution and all. I think metrology also is monitoring the environment, something like that, sir.
Yes, sir. You are right, sir.
Yes.
This pollution and all.
Yeah. One more thing is, I am very happy to say that I have been a member of Pollution Control Board, Odisha State, since 2007, and still I am holding for more than 1,000 crores project and 1,000 hectare area mines. I have been there in the member, continued like that. So where we tried to implement online system of monitoring from different sites, whether it is a mines or mills or any industries for that matter, in any stage, but we could not do it in a proper way. And now I want, since you are talking about this, what my perception is, my opinion, personal opinion is, now when you have the data throughout India, when you have the data, you must be having all the data of our standards, for Indian standard or international, whatever it is. For me, when I consider a standard should not be different for international in India as far as health is concerned. Or life is life. Sabhi ka life ek hi hai. Right, sir? So health standard, I mean. So now wherever that is exceeding the limits, always you are giving through newspapers and news in the online, TV and so many places. But when it comes to the industries, that should give like a trigger level all the time. whenever they go for any meetings, not only pollution control board or meteorology, whatever it is, any meetings, that should warn them that you see your industry is polluting this air, this water, whatever it is. Right, sir. I don't know how much it is feasible and all. If that can be done online real time, that should be there. Because now we should not analyze. Postmortem analysis, वो तो पुराना जमाना का है, दादाजी करता था. Now we want real time online analysis so that our smart generation in the smart age now, they should be able to take. And there I will be using artificial intelligence, your machine learning, deep learning, automatically to take care. Even modification of the syllabus, even revision of the syllabus, I used to propose that it should be done in a not like a conventional way. अभी हम लोग कुछ मीटिंग करेगा 1 साल के बाद, फिर कोई आएगा उसको रिव्यू करेगा, फिर बाद में उसको कोर्स में देगा, सम कमिटी विल अप्रूव, देन उसके बाद एक बनाएगा किताब, फिर कहीं और जाएगा. नो, नथिंग लाइक दैट. It should be like a online process. When there is a problem, now as I said, there was an accident yesterday. Now in that state, at least where people are dealing with that subject, slope stability engineering, surface mining engineering, these are the subjects what we teach. In NIT Raipur, that is a Chhattisgarh, I am a member of academic council. I am a member in so many NITs, IITs. Even I am a member in selecting professors in IITs, especially mining and all. So I wish that it should be like automatically that syllabus should be updated. That means that should come. There is an accident which took place, which is not covered in the topic of your syllabus, curriculum. So next semester when you are teaching, leave apart your other procedure. You should include that as a part of the syllabus. Do you explain how it happened, how you can deal with that, what could be probable solutions, all those things. It should come as a automatic process of revision of syllabus. I hope I could try to make it clear. Okay, sir. Sajal sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, sir. Please continue, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now after a break होने के बाद तो थोड़ा एनर्जी भी मिल जाता है. मैं भी थोड़ा एनर्जी ले लिया था गरम. ठीक है. So now energy for mines is not going up and up. I will be talking on moon mining and Mars mining also later, where my BTech, MTech, PhD scholars, they have also written with me some papers on moon mining in journals also. I will be talking about that later. But deep sea mining summit, because we got energy to go into deep, where we have more than 7,000 crores for our Samudrayan, Matsyayan, that is Matsyayan 6,000, where we want to go 6,000 meter, I mean 6 kilometer deep. And here they had me as a speaker for this deep sea mining summit, Asia 10th annual Asia Pacific Deep Sea Mining Summit 2022, which is to be held on 12th and 13th December there may be so many sands in Singapore, one of that sands, where it is in Singapore. And these are all different speakers, and I am given this topic of latest trends in deep sea mining for sustainable utilization of bioresources, and they may be making it hybrid mode, and anybody can join and see this at that time. What I mean to say is, I am not doing alone myself. Maybe some of my experiences and awareness or exposure may be useful as a scientist or a field engineer to our next generations. I took with me civil engineers like our Raki madam here, our Dr. Ravi is here, who is a convener of National Bioengineering Conference. I am a co-convener of that, where we are making lot of efforts, where dealing with the industries of different type and kind in different states, giving lot of emphasis, already I told you in the beginning, to mineral states, where state is rich in mineral, but people are very poor, below BPL. More than, I don't want to say it is the same figure for me. So many people are below poverty line. In that, this is a deep sea mining summit. This is what is that. For those who are interested, I kept it here, where they kept our NIT Rourkela emblem also, they kept it here. This is my proud privilege to show this. Our NIT Rourkela along with Cambridge University of Cambridge and other people internationally. And there is an international seabed authority where we have got more than 1.5 lakh. More than 1.5 lakhs square kilometers. We applied for the lease and we paid a lot of money. Okay. And now we got approval from International Seabed Authority. Only about 50% of it is given to us. That is 75,000 square kilometer. Where some of my colleague scientists with whom I was working, now in National Institute of Oceanography, CSR in Goa. The Goa is a very good beach. Anybody can go. But I could not visit. I will go later. Right. So we are working on that. And I am very proud to show this where our NIT Rourkela from mineral rich state of Odisha is also represented through me in this. And that is there for those who are interested to participate. If they make it hybrid mode is I think 12 o'clock, 12 noon, I think almost same time, whatever now we are. At that time, this you can see how latest trends in deep sea mining for sustainable utilization of bioresource. Of course, I will not be talking internationally, but my focus will be with our Bharat Desh, with our country, my mother earth, where I live. And now I am living in Odisha. So I talk about that and our India with Make India, Skill India, whatever you say, all this Atmanirbhar Bharat, we do that. तो इसीलिए वो भारत का झंडा भी हमारा स्कॉलर लगा दिया पीछे है मेरा. Right. So this is a need is mother of invention. We say this mineral rich states. That's why I kept it only in the morning, this one. And this also I kept it after a discussion with a director of L.V. Prasad Eye Institute in Bhubaneswar, who is with us in the memorandum of understanding, MOU with them, working on dry eye research. इसलिए नयनम प्रधानम जो बोलते हैं हम लोग. तो आपको अगर ये नयनम नहीं है, तेलुगु में बोलते हैं हम लोग कन्नु चूप लेకపోతే ఏం లేదు. When you cannot see, then what you do? But don't think otherwise. So we can do so many things. Being blind also, we can do wonders in the world. It was done by so many people. But this can be even better done if you have all these, our sensors, our own sensors, if it works. So I say while talking to my scholars also, with all this artificial intelligence, don't forget your natural intelligence. Don't forget your seniors. Don't forget your forefathers. Don't forget your whatever tradition, heritage, culture of that place, that state, that country. For us, Bharat Mata Jindabad. So we should give that much. We have that culture of Gurukulam, whatever you say in Telugu. Right. So we should work with that and you really will enjoy. Work more, you get more pleasure. That should be the motto of doing anything in the world. And already we are seeing our Honorable Prime Minister, who is a president of CSIR, and being a scientist of CSIR, I used to take his name many times, and that's what I wanted to say. It may be inspiration for our next generations to work and work and work, so that result will automatically come, like in your Bhagavad Gita, Karma Yogi Bano. Now, in that way, proper education through transdisciplinary, translational, industry-oriented research and academics, concentrating more on outcome-based research and education. People talk about outcome-based education. I added R into that. Already I told I have so many R's with me. Dr. Ravi sitting, he is a convener of National Bioengineering Conference. Dr. Raki Madam, working with us in the projects, so many R's with us. So with skill development technology and research with local impact and global recognition. That is very, very important in the states where from we are. And one of that is my Odisha, where I am there, I work for it. Then the mining industry is changing rapidly. And already I told about this. Dr. Srikanth Saab, I don't know, Dr. Smruti Rekha Madam also might have joined in this. She is a very senior eye surgeon. We have presented so many papers on dry eye research in so many forums, national and international forums at different places. And ultimately our challenge and dealing with net zero vision, vision zero all that guidelines of our Make India or Atmanirbhar Bharat. And already I told in the beginning, our Make in Odisha, it is ongoing now. Tomorrow I will be there with them. And it is a pleasure for me that is in progress. And all this should be imbibed and it should be inclusive for the inclusive development of our total system of education, technology, research and its applications. And ultimately that is for our industry 4.0 application of robotics, artificial intelligence, virtual reality. Already I told I used to learn from my students and from my kids. So what I wanted to say is I feel very happy when it serves the purpose. It is in between slide only, not the end of it. Ashutosh sir, ये end नहीं है, in between slide है, अभी 50% more है. So
Please.
yes sir. Where if they get inspired, if they can get big burning desire as our honorable former president of India and also our present president, our first prime minister, President Murmu Madam, Honorable Murmu Madam, also first from Odisha. So how have the aim to develop these mineral rich states are the states by all means holistic development. They used to give a lot of emphasis on that. And somebody, if they face the problem, they can understand better and they can give solutions better. So in that way, I have taken the names of whether it is a Dr. Abdul Kalam or our Honorable President Murmu Madam, where she was our chief guest as a governor when I was a chairman conducting one national conference in Jharkhand, in Ranchi. All those things we can discuss later, of course. If they can get that burning desire, having a low aim, that's why the low aim is a crime, right? We should have a big aim, big desire or dream, whatever, is if it comes to their minds by this type of interaction, I will feel very happy. To the scholars, to the scientists, to the students, to the industrialists, to the technologists, or to the policy makers, to the leaders of whether they are from IITs or universities, state, central, private, or administrators, whoever they may be, who are really interested for development of our country, our educational system, technology and research like that, where they can apply applications of this transdisciplinary research and academics in view of the recent NEP 2020. That's why I said in the beginning, I have so many slides for NEP 2020 as a chairman of the committee for implementing NEP 2020 in NIT Rourkela. For my department, I did a lot of exercise in that way to encourage for different technological innovations, including latest buzzwords, artificial intelligence, data analytics, cloud, dew, fog computing, IoT, in general for various industries and in particular for mineral estates. And that is what is a benefit, what I look forward for. If they can come out, they can collaborate with us, no problem, or anybody. As I said already, we have collaboration with so many agencies, so many private and government institutions, IIT, NIT, whatever the name, private institutions like Trident Academy of Technology, their deans, computer science HODs, R&Ds, everybody are there as a part of our team of transdisciplinary group. And we are establishing that lab also. And if somebody can get that type of desire, burning desire, I say, to submit the proposals, SNT, and work with us also in various ongoing projects. I have more than 10 projects ongoing now with different ministries, industries, including Ministry Coal, Mines, DST, DBT, SERB, whatever the name you take. And here, already I told in the beginning, whenever you do all that, your aim should be very clear. You are working, being like a pujari in a temple of knowledge. Saraswati Dev ke samne baitha hai, and we are trying to give as a pujari, we will be giving prasad to different people. तो हमारा बिहार प्रसाद, वो प्रसाद, ये प्रसाद नहीं है. प्रसाद खाने का मतलब that is a ज्ञान देने का, right? So to the people, if you think that you are in that stage as anybody, as a policy maker, as administrator, either IIT, NIT, any institution, then definitely for mineral estate, this is what I used to say, relation for sustainable industry for that matter. For mining, I said here, we are getting minerals like milk from Mother Earth, We are babies, all are babies of mother, taking minerals. And there, if it is a mother and baby, both are happy while taking milk and while giving milk. That is a sustainable, most sustainable practice in the world, in the universe, I should say, if somebody is living in other planets. So most sustainable, that is the reason why they are giving birth to babies. If giving milk is not a pleasure or not an activity, why they should give birth? So why they should, why my mother earth should give mineral if it is weeping, if it is polluted, why it should give? So that is, I don't say $1 billion question or anything, but it is a multi-crore question for every Indian and for that matter anywhere in the world. Where are we happy taking milk or taking the mineral? Still we face a lot of problems, right? So our education should, especially in the states where it is mineral rich, should concentrate more. When you are getting 400 crores per day from mineral industry as a mineral fund, then you should be able to make the richest in the world, the people who are living there. That is possible by the best possible education, best possible policies, best possible vision, and best leaders of educational or research institutions. That's what I wanted to emphasize all the time. And that's the reason why I kept the question mark, is earth and public happy while mining? Right. So UN agenda, everybody knows, so I need not explain about that. And but that education 2030, why I'm talking about 2030, 2030. If somebody talks about it, of course, for politics and all, 5 years maybe the period decided, people are following, it is fine. But we have seen in some institutions, it may not be, within 5 years they may not be able to, or they could not do in many institutions. That may be one of the reasons you can see in many leaders of institutions are taken second time also. Right. So I am not going into that aspect of selections. Here, it may require some time, more than even 5 years also, for some of the implementation of our policies. As an administrator, as a policymaker, as a leader in any institutions, whether IIT, university, institute, whatever it is. And of course, that NEP 2020 goal should be kept in mind in our education 2030 for all the sectors. Why I kept here the list of 25 sectors are given in Make India. And we should focus on that as any education research institution. And these are, of course, in Make India, there are so many institutions. First preference was given in automobiles, #1 sector. So like that, now I need not explain this, it is available in the websites. And only this Make India I am giving importance because now it is going on in my state, in Odisha. That is, I think it started on 1st or so. Tomorrow, that is the 4th is its valedictory, and that's why I'm showing this. So here in the list, our mining comes 14, number 14. That's what I wanted to show here. And here when it comes to transdisciplinary research, it can be a single discipline doing any work, multidisciplinary, it can be interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary. I'm coming to the point now where I said that I will be giving justification for my why NEP 2020 also should consider transdisciplinary instead of only multidisciplinary work for the policy makers. Now, what is a transdisciplinary research? I want to show through some figures, because explaining through seeing is believing, right? Through figures it is easy. If somebody says that Amitabh Bachchan itna lamba rehta hai, so it is better to show his figure. Okay, so it is easy to remember, right? Like that, let me show, instead of showing the text here, I am not showing this. But ultimately, my aim will be training the next generation. Training the next generation, not in the lines of 30, 40 years back education system. Not in the lines where teaching-based education was there. Not in the lines where there were no textbooks. I have my own personal experience. I used to be class first from my school to the university level. तो आशुतोष साहब बोल दिया था गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट करके. I was unfortunate to continue that trend throughout my career, right? So even we used to have only one textbook in the library. If somebody takes, no book available, and Only teacher role is also to give that knowledge. What is there in the book to the people? Otherwise, book is not there. Now you should not compare. Compare to that. Now everything is available. Now as a teacher, now it is not the teacher role. It is a counselor role. That's what I have been emphasizing. We should be the best counselor, understanding the problems of that local area nearby where your institution is there, and try to design, make the policies mission in such a way that that will be useful for solving the problems of that local people first. Then you will get cooperation of all that people. Then you are contributing to the best. For that, already I have given one simple solution where in my Odisha as a mining man, I say no ore. Of course, it is required within India. We should export to the place where there are best mills available, like RSP plant. From other state also it should come, right? But need not go to other country. There are so many bilateral relations, that is different issue. I am not going into that. But to the possible extent, all institutions, educational or research institutions, should focus on starting the startups, incubation centers with the industries where your state should export the product rather than the raw. That gives lot of scope for making your state rich enough with lot of opportunities for the employment generation and generation of the wealth. So this is what, as everything here I want to quote, because we used to watch long back, 30 years back, that Chanakya Chandragupta, right? So is this Chanakya also used to teach how to take care of the people or whatever to Chandragupta. So like that, now we need such type of people in the main roles as a leaders in any educational research or policy maker side. Then our India, our states, especially mineral rich states, can develop, making not only wealth of the state, we should say person should become, that area who are living, they should become rich people, not below poverty line. BPL should not be there. That should be quoted. That should not be there in that area. When they have so much wealth, why it should be there? It should not. Then that is a lacking in many cases. So this subject is very deep. Already I have shown deep ocean mining and all. So sky is also not the limit. People used to say sky is the limit. मैं वो भी नहीं बोलता हूँ मैं. Sky is also not the limit, right? So, but I was trying to show something. 33 तो पुराना वाला था slide. With 35 years with my limited experience, I wanted to say something. But here, any project, whatever I give to my students, BTech, MTech or PhD, I never give hypothetical projects to any of those people. Okay, I don't discourage basic research. But when you have so many problems around, now we should concentrate more on that. That is what is a need-based education. Need-based education should be given highest priority for any institution where you are living, any state where that, whether you are a vice chancellor, you are a director, you are a minister, or you may be anybody in that way. So you should give highest priority to that need-based in that area and promote those people who have that vision and that experience. That type of, already I told, when it comes to education institution, it is like a temple, a Saraswati Devi udhar hai, pujari jaisa logon ko prasad dena chahiye. So all these students should become a great bhakt बनना चाहिए. वो भक्ति डेवलप करना है, पैसा तो अपने आप आ जाएगा. That is the reason why I have shown these two. One is SBI. Ashutosh sir, are you able to see SBI diary and this one, Journal of Sustainable Planet. I am also chief editor of Indian Mining and Engineering Journal over 1.5 decades, and also editor for this Sustainable Planet journal, which is started by our Director General of CSIR, Professor Jana Saab in Bhubaneswar, former Director General. He is founder of that, and we are there as a group. I am a member, editorial board member, editor in that. So we give a lot of emphasis on all these issues. And here, academics and research are two sides of a coin. Now you are able to see 5 rupee coin, 1 rupee. These are all different type of coins. taking 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs fees from the people to give BTech, MTech, PhD and all those degrees, right? But unless you have that third side, that is a third eye open in those people who are using these coins, then that is useless. That may go to dustbin, as if it is like a waste. How it is, how it can be done. Now you can see our great हमारा साइंटिस्ट साहब इधर देख रहा है ऐसा करके. So ऐसा देखने का कुछ मतलब है. But try to open your third eye बोल रहा है. Third eye is, what is that? That is possible by proper understanding of the problem. And I can say with my limited experience, that is missing in many, many academic institutions of highest repute in the world or maybe in India. And also many institutions which are research institutions. This is missing in majority of the people, scientists, faculty. They may belong to by name any greatest institution, but it is missing and acceptable by the industry that they are expert, they can solve our problem. चाणक्य के पास जाना चाहिए लोग, हमको प्रॉब्लम है, चाणक्य के पास जाना चाहिए. चाणक्य जैसा होना चाहिए, if he is a scientist, he is a leader of an institution, education or research or a policy maker, whatever, then वो चाणक्य ऐसा चंद्रगुप्त लोगों को, बहुत लोगों को वो तैयार करेगा. No depth of that. That's why I used to say, कौरव सेना का जरूरत नहीं है for development of the country, our nation, or the world, whatever it is. पांडव सेना sufficient है. But Pandava Sena may be एक अर्जुन काफी है. One Arjun is sufficient. He can prepare more number of Arjuns. So that should be given lot of emphasis in any system. That's what I used to say, whether it is in the mining or anything in the world. Then world has problems, already I told, this may be. We have so many departments, only source is our experience. Our NIT Rourkela also have more than around 20 departments to solve the problem. And with the groups with other institutions, we can do something more to solve the problems of our mineral-rich Odisha state in the beginning and extendable to other states, India and the world. And that is all possible by experience. And that is possible when a right man selected for right things and they can deliver being a pujari of the temple of knowledge in any institutions. This is a translational, transdisciplinary, transformational research that is required. I am not going into all aspects of it. Anybody, if they write these words in Google, they will get it. And summary definitions also I am not going, but I want to show that integrative studies, how it should be taken. Integration of this, how it should be done. In this TTIORA, which I coined in 2006 as a professor, and that's what I said. And this is what is that, which can explain to a layman what is the difference between multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary research, and how you should inculcate the habit of using this. And in the beginning, when we started, or when I started this TTIR, there was a lot of, I was HOD at that time of our mining engineering department. There was a lot of negative reactions. Why we should invite for our MTech with a BTech of electronics, BTech of computer science, BTech of civil, BTech of electrical, BTech of mechanical, right? So out of all that, I could start at that time with the help of our visionary director, Professor S.K. Sarangi Saab, and I am sure with our beloved senior and present director, Professor K.M. Rao Saab, we are doing wonderful works and we will be better than many IITs, I can say that. Okay. So this multidisciplinary research means what they are doing is, now you can see any color, he is a geologist, he is an electronics engineer, another person is a computer scientist, another person is a fashion designer, another person is somebody else. They are working, they are expert in their own field, but there is no interaction. वो अपना ऑब्जेक्टिव बना दिया, उनका इतना बढ़िया रिपोर्ट बनाएगा. I think everybody can understand Hindi also in between. I know little less Hindi, but if somebody is interested, I can talk Telugu better. Asta sir. Right. So
Yes,
now
sir. Yes,
they
sir.
are working. They are best in their own field, but they are not interacting with others. Same thing happened when I was a scientist in Ministry Mines. So CSIR since I was a scientist before in CSIR also, I could start one collaborative work with CSIR and Ministry Mines. 5.5 crores project at that time sanctioned. Then I was selected as a professor in NIT, Rourkela I came here. So that means that type of attitude should be there for the people to interact. Otherwise, they will be best in their own field, and they will be giving best reports. And they have hundreds of international journal publications. But when it comes to the solution, if that problem is, for example, a mining, and he is a best in electrical, what is the use of that? He has a best rating, citations 2000, 15,000. What is the use? That goes to dustbin when it comes to the solution for a particular problem. I hope everybody understood the meaning of what is given in NEP 2020. Of course, I may be wrong, others may correct me, right? Of course, those who do more work, they also commit mistakes, right? This is what I am telling. It may be wrong, that can be corrected. But that's what I say to my students, scholars. Even if persons are doing work, I say 10% mistakes are done, still I call them excellent. I hope everybody understood what is the meaning of that. When anybody is doing work, ये इसमें मैं जो बताया था NEP 2020 should have been upgraded further, not limited to multidisciplinary. That statement may be wrong, but I say multidisciplinary word should be upgraded to transdisciplinary. Then 10% mistake can also be considered in the excellent grade because 90% marks to any institution is excellent. I hope Ashutosh sir will appreciate that because I can see only
100% correct, sir.
Thank you.
100%.
Then now coming to the next, interdisciplinary research. What they are doing? They are, okay, this may be that, yes, somebody is there, he do yoga in the morning. साथ में mechanical वाला भी yoga में आता है. तो अच्छा दोस्ती बन गया. Yoga word I have taken because I am a trustee member for one great institution for 15 years. That is Utkal Yoga, Naturopathy, Panchakarma, Banaushadhi, Physiotherapy, Hospital, Training and Research Center. I have been a trustee member for that. We inculcate that habits also in our students. It can be anything, of course, I can add so many things that may become spiritual, not going into that. So your Sudarshana Kriya and all. I used to take all my students who are doing projects with me to learn the skills of dealing with the problems, frustration anytime. When you are doing work, you should not go into आपको बहुत problem आया, आप बहुत काम किया, research किया, result नहीं मिल रहा है as expected. Of course, research result should not be expected. That is the truth. But we have in a wrong direction, so they expect the result. Then they get frustrated. उनका एक ही याद आता है, either कुछ पीना पड़ेगा ऐसा, नहीं तो कुछ पीना पड़ेगा ऐसा, और कुछ करना पड़ेगा. No, there are so many things, so many avenues in our culture, Indian culture, heritage, in our system of yoga and so many things, meditation, all those things. That also should be taught. That's what is holistic development, what we wanted. तो उसके बारे में अभी बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं बोलना है, कोई पूछने से बोलूँगा मैं. So interdisciplinary may be like this, where only few people are working together in between, but still there is something missing. In ultimate solution, holistic solution nahi milega. Now, transdisciplinary means now everybody is connected, and their aim is not to excel in my electrical technology या biotechnology journal में best paper publish करूँगा, ये नहीं होगा उनका. Now this problem is in, it can be cinematography, best RRR movie निकालना है हमको, best KGF movie निकालना है, उसमें best image processing क्या कर सकते हैं? His aim should be that, best image processing कैसा करना है? Then that is for RRR movie करना है. So I may be a computer scientist, I may be a photographer for mechanical engineer, setting the cinema, I mean camera, then instrument, so many things may be there. All should understand, their first aim should be that. They should understand and then work. That is what is transdisciplinary research. A step even ahead of that is transdisciplinary, transcendental research. That is research number 2 I have written here. I took it from somewhere. I have not given references, but here So that is ultimate aim we have to achieve, solving the problem of whether it is industry or society, whatever it is. So I have a team, already I told, about 20 PhD scholars, 3, 4 already awarded, and then computer science and different groups working on wireless sensor, IoTs, or power quality, electrical engineers, or mining, mechanical. They did in ministry mines, TDR, wireless sensor systems, all these things, digital image processing, mine communications, or wireless sensor networks, or environmental related, so many AI/ML techniques, IoT framework. Then we have some patents, 4 patents already submitted, of course, provisionally submitted on IoT and wireless sensor networks. Like that, we have so many things. Just for information, I have given here with some subjects of that. In that way, how I am able to say all this with my experiences, some of the experiences, as our great forefather साइंटिस्ट साहब का तो फोटो दिखाया आप लोगों को, बड़ा बड़ा ये था, लेकिन मेरा बचपन से मेरा तो ऐसे छोटा ही रहता था, बिकॉज माई फादर यूज टू टेक मी टू ए बार्बर, वहां जाके ऐसे बिठाता था, बस कुछ नहीं करना है, वो मिलिट्री कटिंग करके छोड़ देता था, आशुतोष साहब. Then that has become like a wonderful experience. I never left it even now also. मैं कल भी गया था तो वही बोला था, वही करता है, ऐसे ही रहता है, ठीक है. So that means it is a habit. What I want to say is, this is experience. Experience makes a habit. So we should work out with those people. Maybe like policymakers, maybe like leaders, administrators, anywhere for education, research, or any institutions, so that they can give that habits to the next generations. Here, my journey started in 1980s, of course. This is there in my biodata and all. I am not going to say all these things, but just to give some idea, I was there with international arbitration cases. Again, is the most, because mining engineers knows very well, Professor S.S. Penn, Professor Fairhurst, they are the #1 in rock mechanics, against whom we were scientifically fighting for India on international arbitration to prove that technology selected is wrong or right. So many things we did it. And participation in international collaboration with rock mechanical technology, UK or with France and so many things. TDR wireless, already I told about that. With so many circulars based on my experience, I tried to give some new methods to India or in legislation, some modification in the Indian mining law with methods and data control practices. At present also we are doing a lot of projects, of course, in different mines. As a scientist from 89 to 96 years, I am SIMFER, and was there in Aachen University, CDF France, UMT, NIOSH, already I said, in different years I have given here. With all these experiences, I am able to say something, and not hypothetically like that. This, what I wish is, I used to tell my scholars and junior faculty, you try to take my 35 years of experience, everything is open here. All the books, ask soft copy, then you learn. And many people used to ask me, साहब आप तो पूरा like a knowledge to flow like a river water सबको दे देता है. Then I used to tell them, that's what I believed in my life. When I give something, then there will be space for something new for me. And in majority of the cases, 99%, people used to say, I don't know. People used to say, when they developed something, when they did, वो किसी और को बताया गया ही नहीं. पक्का उनका पेटेंट है, पक्का उनका एक्सपर्टाइज है, वही यूज करना है. ठीक है, that's a different issue. Right. So we have hydroelectric projects, instrumentation, so many things, so many new framework we try to give, even stress, Kaiser stress management and all. I used to talk. This is my my favorite subject because that I did project as a MS counseling and psychotherapy on stress and trauma management. My guides are directors of NIMHANS in Bangalore, and director of NIMH, Dr. Bhaskar Naidu and Dr. Reddy. They were directors in Hyderabad. So they were my guides when I did MS counseling and psychotherapy, counseling so many cases of how to improve performance of students. Then mining 4.0, of course, now it is like industry 4.0, I did that, and knowledge transformation is the requirement, and transformation is possible through TTIORA, whatever I was telling about. There are various phases of mining. mining engineer knows very well, but not others. But here, why I am showing this is there are different branches they can come up and do something. In mineralist states, especially, I am concentrating more on that, where exploration at that stage, geologists and so many other people, even image processing, computers, then mineral resource modeling, their mineral engineers, metallurgists and people, equipment selection in mechanical engineers, industrial designers, economy, then I want finance people and mine planning design. Like that, we need help of all these people. Then automation, data analytics, maintenance. We are moving from uh, preventive maintenance to predictive maintenance. I need to deal with big data. That is data of trillions of bytes. We have to deal with that in the automation, data analytics, and industrial internet. And the challenge is ultimately, already I told, we should go for a sustainable development goals and startup. Number 14 is for mining. Again, I am reminding for the states which are mineral rich. That is more applicable. Of course, for other industries, other states, it is also applicable. So regardless of any mining, there are so many things, ore body to process. Anybody can get involved. As a doctor, as a scientist, I mean, as a psychologist, as a physics, because in my projects, I used to hire co-investigators. I can take the names. Professor S. Panigrahi was in one of my project. I kept him as a co-investigator. He was there. He was a former director also, NIT. Rourkela on the project for blasting investigations. I took them. Their scholars also. He's a co-investigator in that. And one Dr. Sneha, my colleague from mathematics. In slope stability, I took them to the mines. Professor Kilar, Professor Chinara Madam, computer science, and electronics, S.K. Das, electronics, different people, L.P. Rai, all them, I took them to the mines and made them as a part of my projects and PhD co-guidance also. Like that, in one of my PhDs, our present directors are also IIT, IIIT, Dr. S.K. Patra, right? IIIT Vadodara is also a co-guide. So like that, we have so many involvement from different disciplines. That is what is a true transdisciplinary research is, and which we have been promoting since 2006, as I said. So ultimately, it is a digital technology, artificial intelligence, modeling we can use for different people, driverless trucks and all. Nowadays, people are using in other countries. Of course, we are also trying for that. 20% of the trucks in some company like Rio Tinto in Australia are driverless. That's all through artificial intelligence and all. So ultimately, zero emission process we want for different industries, and digital. Now we can have future mining, as I said, deep sea mining, space mining, your moon, Mars, whatever you talk about. NASA's annual robotic mining competitions were also there. Extraterrestrial mining, what, where, which you are able to get what. Now, on the moon, water, helium, or radioactive material. There are so many things. In different phases, we can do that. So, need of improved safety in whatever we do. Innovations are required to robotics and all automation. For transformation, drones, I used to say, in the morning I was talking to their deputy director generals and directors of DGMS. Today itself, I hope some people must be there. Mr. Ujjwal, Mr. Sham, they are deputy director general directors of DGMS. If they are there, they can respond to me if you are online. Now, drones, I used to suggest, why don't you use drones for inspection? Of course, they have started using it in a large scale. Instead of going to the mine, I can get all the data. And online, virtual reality for even training, worksite simulators, and virtual equipments. And student focus should be on technology domain as far as technology and research institutions are concerned, with some specific reference to, I can say very gladly, some institutions like 1500 crores our Chief Minister of Odisha State has granted for our Odisha University of Technology and Research. So we can think of how to utilize in a better way with focus on this type of industrial Internet of Things, automation, big data, all those things, robotic access and all. Roll off, already I told about these industrial IoTs, and then that should be from local to global. Already I said Since I was addressing MCL, Mahanadi Coalfields, we are producing, this will be the number one, first position. It will be, as far as India is concerned, we have first person in India, our Honorable Murmu Madam, and this is the first production in India, our mines, Mahanadi Coalfields. In that way, we have so many number one in Odisha, and our OUTR also should become number one in future with technology and research. And a profit was 4,000 crores, already I said. And CSR, we spent more than 500-600 crores for that. And case study, we have so many things, virtual reality, and you can operate automations in underground. Equipment will be there in underground in the place where it is not hygienic. Then my person can sit on the surface and he can operate that as if he is seeing in underground. And this is the way how it is not too far. In different countries, lot of research is going on robotics applications in Canada, UAE, whatever, Australia. And Make India Atmanirbhar Bharat, I am sure it will take us, lead us to that. And even we have given some S&T proposals along with Dr. Ravi, who is sitting behind me here as a investigator team on deep sea mining, undermining robots, and how to take care of pollution and different type of automation. And asteroids, already prospecting exploration, and platinum group metals are also there in that. Then how it can be done on Moon, Mars, so many things we can think of. And NASA is National Aeronautics and Astronautics Agency is doing something, and European Space Agency is doing something, and we can do something, right? And we are nowhere less than anybody else. So innovation and indigenization, this is not my words. This is already there in the thrust areas identified, and there it is clearly mentioned. Indigenization of new technologies. Our Honorable Prime Minister, who is also President of CSIR, and I have been already motivated since my infancy as a scientist, 30 years back in CSIR labs. That's why I used to take that. And this is written in the thrust area. I have not made these words. Atmanirbhar Bharat through innovation and innovation under Make India concept. It can be Make India, it can be Make in Odisha, where tomorrow is a valedictory for that. And we can do that through indigenous development of IoT and other technologies, and indigenous robotic technologies we are supposed to develop. And now we have, when I am talking about MCL, Mahanadi Coalfield, I have one of the best students here, Abhijit. He is going to get married. He came with an invitation card. There is a good sign when we are talking about something and some good message comes from one of our best kids. He is Abhijit sitting on my back. Oh, KGF jaisa dadi hai, Pushparaj jaisa. He is a very senior mining engineer working, and he was there with me in the event which is conducted just only nothing. And these are different systems we conducted, whether it is from Indian Mining Engineering Journal site, or this is from Mining Geology and Metallurgical Institution of India, where challenges and strategies in coal mining and transformation to industry 4.0. That's why I'm showing this. Just in the last week, we conducted this. So, and here our Abhijit is there with me, and now he is there with me now offline, giving a very good message of his marriage with the invitation card, right? So now there are inclusive points that I wanted to give, not like any conclusion. We have to do a lot of things. Again, Ashutosh sir, again I have 1/4 of the slides later. It is not conclusion. Okay.
Please,
Now
please.
let me know at this point of time how much time I can take more.
So how much time you want? You can continue, no problem, sir.
That's why I said Ramayana can be told within 2 minutes. 2 hours not sufficient. 2 days also is not sufficient.
Sir,
You must
please.
have some schedule. That's why I asked.
No problem, sir. Please continue, because it's a very good. Actually, I think the information which now we are getting is very important. That what actually we have to do, we have to come closer, all of us, and we have to plan successfully how we can make the things easier. I think that as you have shown in the morning that there is an accident yesterday, that means there is somewhere lack. We are lacking somewhere. The system is not working. We all are not working together. Togetherness is necessary. Otherwise, these things should not happen. And we have to work. We have to make our society in a very good society. Please, sir, you continue, please.
Okay, sir. That way, at
In
least I
this,
can take.
sir,
आज अभी time कितना हो रहा है sir?
sir, it is already 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock we have crossed. But anyway, you can continue 10,
Exactly
15 minutes
second
more.
period भी हो गया है.
Yes, sir. 1 o'clock more.
Second period हो गया वो.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Period
sir.
1 घंटा होता है. 50 minutes.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
I
sir.
think this is a good break then. I am taking something hard. इसका अंदर क्या है
Please.
पता नहीं किसी को.
Please.
So this is what I wanted to communicate is I will not take more than 15-20 minutes. That's why I asked Ashutosh sir, because as a organizer, he must have given some time. And otherwise, people may think that we are following Indian time, not foreign time. Of course, already we are Indians. After all, we are Indians. Indian flag भी पीछे हमारा scholar रखी है अभी ऐश्वर्या मैडम ने रखा है. ठीक है. I think everybody is able to see the flag. Yes, right. So थोड़ा इंडियन टाइम में चलेंगे तो और 10-15 मिनट आई रिक्वेस्ट टू बेयर विथ मी एंड उस समय भी एक ब्रेक बताएगा साहब ने सो दैट सम टाइम शुड बी गिवन फॉर इंटरेक्शन. 15 मिनट के बाद आशुतोष साहब थोड़ा ब्रेक कर दीजिए सर. देन बाय दैट टाइम वी विल डू दैट. ओके सर.
Okay, sir. Okay.
यस. सो
Or
nowadays
otherwise, what we can also do, sir, we can continue one another session if you need. If you feel that one another session of 2 hours is required, we can manage maybe
that
next
we
week or
can
next
do
week.
that we can do as an another program. लेकिन
Okay.
उसको स्टार्ट करके मैं 15 मिनट बोला बिकॉज
Okay, sir. Please.
मेरा वो ऐश्वर्या मैडम इधर ऐसा गुस्सा से देख रही है. उनका लंच वहाँ लंच का टाइम है. वो लंच 2 बजे के बाद बंद.
Please.
ठीक है.
Please, please.
So, right, she is one of the best students. She helped me in preparing these slides yesterday. Right, sir. Here we are going for smart city, smart, anything is smart. You want everything smart. अभी even people also they want to be smart. मोटा नहीं रहना चाहता है. पहले मोटा रहना चाहता था लोग. अभी तो मोटा नहीं लीन रहना है लेकिन वो क्या बोलेगा स्मार्ट बोलेगा. Right. That means your hard work is not required. Or you are all the time taking more time. Many people used to say, I am sitting in the office up to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. बाद में ऑफिस जाएगा बीबी डांट रही है. Right? तो इतना लेट क्या है. Right? So this is not the smart work. That means either you are unable to do the work within the time. That means you are lacking the skill set required for your work. So all the time making more time doesn't mean you are doing great work. So that is not applicable to everybody. Please quote. It is unquote. Right. So sometimes more works are required. That time it is different, right? For general public, I told. So ultimately what I want to convey is it is a smart generation. We want even a smart, even a minds also should be smart enough. And in that way, I kept this word smart going for that. And where all this smart, as a mining engineer, I cannot make my mind smart. I can make my mind more dirty. That means मैं जाऊंगा blast करूंगा. मैं जाऊंगा ऐसे एक कट्टा चम्मच लेके हम लोग what we used to do is there is a purely manual mining. I used to learn even from my grandparents. My grandfather was also working in mines. For that matter, some ladies were also working at that mines, right? And my father was also working. I learned so many things from him. In that way, to highlight here, I have seen DGMS person, please don't quote anywhere this statement, next statement. I have seen a mine, underground mine, when I was in 5th class. Then with a proud privilege, my father used to take to the people in the mine and say, ये मेरा बेटा है, क्लास फर्स्ट आता है सभी में, स्कूल फर्स्ट आता है, सब आता है. तो then general manager वो लोग जो भी देखेगा, they used to ask, बड़ा होके क्या बनोगे? Then I used to say, आप ही एडवाइस दिए साहब, आप हमारा बुजुर्ग है, बड़ा लोग है. तो I take it as a privilege. Then वो बोला था कुछ भी कीजिए लेकिन माइनिंग इंजीनियर मत बनिए. Ashutosh sir, they used to say like that. Then I asked, why? बिकॉज ये माइनिंग बहुत हजार्डस प्रोफेशन है, बहुत ये करता है। इसमें देखे ना व्हाइट कॉलर जॉब, ऐसे बैंक मैनेजर बनिए ना बढ़िया रहे। ये एसबीआई का लेके बैठ सकते हैं बैंक मैनेजर, ठीक है, वही टू डू ऑल दैट। देन that was imprint in my mind from that time. Then I said to my father, who was a rope splicer in Singareni College Company Limited, where I said that my mining engineering banunga. Then I got all the branches with a good rank at that time in Telangana state, Andhra. Electronics and everything. Computer science was not there. Electronics was just started at that time. Then I took only mining, not by last option, first choice. And people were surprised. अरे आपका सभी ब्रांच मिल गए तो क्यों माइनिंग लिया? So we want some people with that dedication. That's what I wanted to say. Now I made my next kids from electronics and computer science, BTech and MTech now. They will be helping, and my own kids are also part of me now. So this is what just I wanted to highlight. That that type of dedication to improve, that type of dedication is required in the educationist or a scientist or industrialist or as a leader in any IITs, NITs, university, whatever it is. So that as a pujari in the temple of knowledge, we should serve and give that prasadam to all these people. Aishwarya Madam, Abhishek, and everybody, right? Whether they are married or unmarried, it should be given. Then, in that way, ultimately, what I want to say is few more. This, as I said, transdisciplinary, I started from 2006, as I told. I kept few things here just to highlight. I used to give since 2006 when I took projects in mining to all the departments I used to take, whether they are from physics, they are from mathematics, they are from different departments, civil and other departments with me, and all free transport, everything, lodging, boarding, and take all the scholars, PhD scholars and MTech scholars, everybody with me, those who are really interested to do some work, not interested in just getting a paper, degree or certificate and roaming on the roads, or just giving an international publication burden to the website and libraries. Not that. So those really wanted to contribute. These are that open invitations I used to give in our total websites, in our NIT Rourkela at that time, and now also, of course, I involve many people. And these are different groups of my transdisciplinary research computer science. Gunta Karthik now is associate professor in electronics in Hyderabad. This is a manganese ore mine. He is from computer science background, he is electronics background. And it is not only just doing some research, acceptable by the industry, training the industry people to use your technology. That should be done. And that's what we are doing here. You can see they are very senior people. They are directors, general managers of R&D, planning departments. You can see our Bhushan is a Ministry of Mines Computer Science working with me. Latest technologies like synthetic aperture radar and slope stability radars being used in investigations in the mines, where my colleague who was a general manager long back was there. This is that Rajmal mine where we lost. This is a place where we could not extract 5 dead bodies. Even now, we could not take it. 23 were there, and this is the places where our faculty, our acceptability comes there, where and how industry utilizing. इसलिए मैं पहले बोला था चाणक्य जैसा होना चाहिए, बहुत चंद्रगुप्त लोगों को बना सकते हैं हम लोग, right? This is that where our immediately after that accident disaster, I was there with my PhD scholars, kept there for 2-3 months. Now nobody else can know better than them as far as their discipline is concerned. So these are the investigations, whether it is for blasting, whether it is for underground mines, it is the latest technologies. Of course, we have latest technologies costing for more than 1,000 crores, but still not doing better. ऐसा लग रहा है आशुतोष साहब, हम लोग बुढ़ा बन गया, बीच में पीना पड़ता है. And here, these are that welcome to the mines. Now you can see some investigations being done along with these our Sridhar, I hope, R&D department from many various industries, Coal India, MCL, Singareni Collieries, ECL, SECL must be there, Vedanta Group, our Facker Mines and all. They must be observing this. He is our Sridhar, a senior SCADA control engineer in Singareni number one. And they are from computer science, electronics, who are working with me in that projects. In different underground mine situation, it looks like this. He is our director of mine safety, was working with me at that time. Narendra is there in DGMS headquarters now, and these are the different group. He is our Pawan. Yesterday only I have seen he is doing something for the movies in Telangana. There was one movie being screened, and he kept a very good WhatsApp to me, or in the Facebook anybody can see. Kodati Pawan Kalyan, who did project with me. He's a mining engineer but working in the cinematography. That's what is a transdisciplinary group is. And now these are some of the mine situations. You can see how people looks like, and research and academics, how it can be useful. There are so many things. I am not showing all that. Some may be repetition here. Here, this is as our joint secretary Saab ne bataya in the inaugural session, how our courses, our academics in technology or research scientists should be oriented. This is one of that example I can say, and my Abhijit is a part of it. तो शादी करने वाला है, गलती नहीं बोलेगा. Where he is an example of that, who learned this from my side. Where we have modified, and first time in India we introduced this course. Why we introduced? Maybe as a scientist I was there at 2 decades. That's why that assignment was given to me by DGMS, and to train, and I have trained. We trained from NIT Rourkela, I can say, more than 400 strata control engineers in India, and that is based on recommendation of 10th National Conference of Safety in the Mines, which was held in New Delhi, where I was invited specially for that by the then CMDs and Director Generals, Chairman Coal India Narasimha Rao Saab and Sibal Saab. And based on this need, I prepared a course, and I started immediately in that. That's what I said, your curriculum, your courses should be modified as an automatic process rather than going for 1 year to go to academic council, some other technique like that. So that will go to dustbin. So these are different books, like materials are available. We are not crazy in giving any book ISSN like that, but all these are available with 99% of industries. All these books are available with them from my side. As far as strata control, these problems are concerned, the reason is very simple. More than 50% accidents are because of strata control problems. We try to create that awareness from NIT Rourkela, and I am sure under our beloved director, Professor K.U.M. Rao Saab, who is my senior in Usmania University, we are trying to do our best to make it better than many IITs, whether it is NIRF ranking or contributing to the society in transdisciplinary groups. Now, these are different books form available with contents I am showing here, just, and anybody can have this from anybody, any of my scholars, any of the industries, not only coal, metal mines, and all the content. As I said, with mining and civil engineering, we used to conduct not only mining, like that with biotechnology and biomedical engineering, where my back is Dr. Ravi, convener, sitting, and we are doing that. And you are most welcome, along with our World Hockey Cup that is there, I think from 13th January, but our National Bioengineering Conference is 22nd and 23rd, and try to participate maybe as a delegate, otherwise no problem. Hybrid mode, we give the link. You can have a good interaction also at that time. Slope stability issues in open cast. As I told you, yesterday accident is because of this slope stability problems. And disaster, biggest disaster. Here you can see director generals, controller generals, IIT, so many institutions participating in the courses which we conducted here in NIT, Rourkela, and like that, our facilities. I'm not showing all that. And we know all our electrical department. Chevi madam, now she already awarded PhD from electrical department, and our Professor S.K. Sarangi Saab, who has been an inspiration, I said in the beginning when I joined as a professor in 2006 to start all these programs. And here are all the people, including CMD, Mr. C.M. Prasad, again my senior in Usmania University, chairman and managing director. He will be there with us in National Bioengineering Conference also. And some of whole companies also must have joined our PM Prasad साहब भी रहा होगा, I don't know, in this online, but many are there already, as they told me. Now she is Chevi Madam and she is Singham Jayadarshana. As I said, she is a senior AI developer helping me in transdisciplinary research. Works, she was from CET, OUTR, Bhubaneswar, Center of Excellence in Artificial Intelligence, which is a motivation for me to learn more and more. Same Mr. PM Prasad, Singham Jayadarshana on that, and Professor Sarangi Saab, who has been an inspiration in the initial stages as a professor in 2006 to start all these programs. Now I am not giving what is R&D, what is science and technology, what are the Ministry of Mines coal projects, what technology upgradation, safety, providing
So
science.
actually, sir, we are very much interested about this whole document, about this
That's
whole
why,
structure.
yes, sir, that I will share it, no problem, as a
Okay.
PDF. But
So, sir,
what we do is, maybe after 1 month or after a couple of weeks, we can have
please.
another this seminar.
Basically, sir, basically the purpose of this workshop is how we just want to make aware the other industrialists, other technologists, how we can come together, come closer for the development of a particular cause. That
Yes,
is the
sir.
purpose. So my
I
request is you
hope I
kindly
am.
make a one another conference workshop
Yeah, yeah.
on the same topic in which you just explain the issues. What are the environmental issues? What are the health issues? And how we can solve each other? What are the requirements? Let's say legal methodology is with you. How the legal methodology can help you? There are many other participants who are sending the messages that we have to come together. How we can help this? This is the only purpose for these type of workshops, sir.
Yeah, yeah. I hope I am not defeating the purpose then. We are in
No,
line
no,
with
sir.
your purpose.
No, no, sir. No, no, you are 100% aligned with the purpose. My request is we would like to also like to discuss these points, which
Yeah,
we are
definitely.
skipping now.
No, it is my pleasure, sir. It is.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, because ये ऐसा एक का बोलने के लिए I can talk for more than one day because I did lot of research on that. For
No
example,
problem.
fly ash
No
research.
problem. No problem. No problem, sir. We will make an interaction workshop.
Exactly.
Online
During
interaction workshop we
interaction,
can
I
make.
want to say more. I want to say more during interaction depending on their interest. For example,
No,
ये
no
ये
problem.
slide में, so आपके लिए मैं बोलना चाहता था, I did more than 5-6 projects on fly ash. Now, presently we are doing, even in the mines, private and government both, in NTPC mines, Dulunga mines and other places. And then here, Jindal mines we started as a member of Pollution Control Board, Environmental Appraisal Committee. I was there, I have been there now also, where this fly ash, we are generating more than 100 million tons, 200 now, because it is very simple mathematics. When I am using out of 700 million tons of coal, 60% for thermal energy, so around 400 million tons, 25% is a fly ash in that, so 100 million ton ash I am generating. So that is a waste. People used to think waste. Now that is the reason why we started under a leadership of my very good friend, Dr. Vimal Kumar, who has been a scientist G in Fly Ash Mission, DST. You must be knowing him being in Delhi. Our Joint Secretary Saab, who is there here, I don't know whether he is there, or he may be eating chicken biryani on this time, lunch time. So he may be knowing him. Now he's a Secretary General for this Fly Ash Mission and CFAM, Center for Fly Ash Mission Research and Management. We did projects with them for mines. There is a regulation, there is a GO, which is mooted 20 years back, not 20, 15 years back, where within any mine, open cast mine, if there is any thermal power stations, this may be interesting for electrical engineers, other people also, environmentalists and other people, metallurgists, mineral engineers, where if it is within 50 kilometers from the mine site, any thermal power stations are located. They should use 25% of their backfilling. Only this ash should be used. And we know very well nowadays, now we are using for different purpose. That it itself is a big topic. And my scholars were working, whether they are MTech or some in different domains they are working. I can talk many things about that. That's what I said. एक एक का लेके नहीं कर रहा हूँ, जनरल ऐसा कर रहा हूँ करके. Ashutosh sir, that is fine. एक एक का करने से बहुत कुछ बोल सकते हैं, तो एक जनरल करके मैं नेक्स्ट में जा रहा हूँ. when you go to the end, then now let us see if somebody is interested on particular topic, fly ash or ash, waste management, or something like that, or application of electrical engineering in mining, application of fashion designer in mining, application of food technology in mining, then we can, that may be more useful in the interaction, I thought in that way. Okay, sir. I hope that is fine. Okay, sir. Then in that way, whether it is equipment utilization already, as I said, mechanical engineers and other people, they do industrial design, industrial engineers. Then in that way, now I am showing you something. These are not taken from any, what is that, website and all. This is my own photographs as a scientist, as an industry person I have taken, where I was working or where I was doing investigations. Now you can see if this is a status of persons working, then you are getting from here, Ashutosh, I am again re-emphasizing, re-advocating, I am making it very clear. When I am getting from the effort of this type of persons, from mineral-rich states, I start with my beloved state, Odisha, then Jharkhand, then Chhattisgarh, then Telangana, right? Karnataka, mineral-rich states in order. These people are working like this, giving minerals, then they are under BPL. How far it is justified? There is a system lacuna, policy making from central to state and to the visionaries in the educational institutions. I can say with my limited experience or exposure to both research, academics and industry. 2 years in the industry as assistant manager, 17 years, more than sweet 16 as a professor, and 2 decades around as a scientist in leading government research institution, CSIR and Ministry of Mines. That is my statement. Since it is recorded, that can be replayed. Now, these are some of the typical situations where our people are working. Now, this becomes my moral responsibility to make safe designs, make the working safe. If it is not safe, I should utilize, not as a mining engineer, electronics, computer science, then robotics, then virtual reality. I will have an equipment here. My driver is not a driver of 40 years back driver with a RTO certificate of driving license. No. I know how much experienced drivers they are certifying. I know. So it is not that driver. A diploma holder or a degree holder is a driver paid 3 lakhs of rupees per month. Better than an assistant manager. He is driving, sitting in AC room with all comforts. Chicken biryani right side mein, left side mein mutton hai to fish hai samne, whatever it is. But he should work it, and virtual reality and artificial intelligence, everything is going to help us. Then these are the situations where we are working. And this is me in southeastern coal fields where thick seam mining was in jeopardy. I mean, no mining can be done because of some accidents. This is a case in 1989 when all technologies were failing. Blasting gallery method, thick seam mining. This is NCPH mine. All mining engineers knows. Very senior people, they know me. They visited when I was a scientist in this, and I have more affection because this is small part of my PhD also. And I was there in that industry in newly built quarters along with their managers, and their managers are directors now in different CIL subsidiaries now, whether it is in different organizations. Our Mr. JP Gupta, I can take their names, and Reddy is my classmate. We are all working together in that way. And this type of experiences are required for educationists, for scientists, so that they can lead better and make a part of our Make India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Skill India, whatever. And that's what I used to say. When we invite international collaborations, they may come, but problem is yours. Problem is your mind. That's why I used to say, whenever I go for any investigations as a scientist, you know better than anybody else in the world your problem. If you have a stomach pain, you know better you feel better than anybody, even a doctor also. Doctor may try to know through some instrument, through some test, whatever it is. But empathy will not work all the time to 100%. It is not just putting your वो पैर जाके उसका शू में रखना नहीं है empathy. वो तो बोलने के लिए है, but that will not. As a counselor and psychotherapist, I say that is not that. Then these are the situations which we are supposed to deal with and make aware our next generations to deal with that type of problems, and which will work. Wireless sensor network, it was not there before. These are supposed to be used. Safety of equipments through this type of technologies. But I cannot do as a mining engineer. I want help of electronics engineer, instrumentation engineer. For that matter, I need a fashion designer in this also. Even I need textile, which dress is more befitting, healthy for him when he is sitting at 90% humidity. Temperature of 40 degrees, 50 degrees may go. And as Ashutosh rightly asked, air conditioning, I can say, if somebody are interested, where we did air conditioning in the mines. I worked in those mines also. And as a ventilation officer, I was there for the largest mine in southern India. That mine name is 21 Incline. That is in Singareni College. As in charge of mission mining district and ventilation officer, I was doing that in 1986 to 88, that period. So strata monitoring, how that instrumentation with different mesh, mobile mesh node, supervisor mesh nodes, wireless sensor nodes, different type of beacon networks and all. Because I know little bit of electronics and computer science. Already I told you, artificial intelligence, cloud computing. But if there are any queries, I try to say something, and more details, my left and right hands are there with me. They give me strong support. My scholars are there. They can answer anybody's questions. Then underground equipments, then how to make it more need-based redesigning. And here I would like to say, everybody knows who are from mining. When we started longwall mining in India, and I was a part of investigation, international arbitration cases in Coal India long back in 1990s as a scientist with Kotadi mine, ECL, where that's what the example I told. The best in the world rock mechanic experts who are against us in making some theories, postulating something, deciding the factors for the accident and other things scientifically. That issues we will discuss. And he is one of my PhD scholars from electronics with a big equipment sitting here. Electronics, Rahman, he is from Telangana, electronics engineer basically, BTech and MTech from image processing. Now mechanical engineers can help me in giving suitable materials for our support systems. The very big equipments we have for cutting, shearers. These are all instrumentations which are minimum required to understand the behavior of the ground and excavation. It is equally applicable for civil engineering excavations. These are different. This is a small part of my PhD. That's why I said 1% of my PhD, where I have given some new mining methods to India and they modified their regulations. At that time, thanks to our U. Kumar Saab, who was the CMD at that time, Chairman and Managing Director, Sri U. Kumar Saab, used to give special attention. These are all the instruments. He used to visit the mine as a CMD at that time. When Mr. J.P. Gupta was a manager, now he's a director. ECL, अभी retire भी हो जाएगा. अभी सब लोग बुढ़ा हो गए हम लोग. Types of communication systems we have to work, and communication system we have to develop wide, semi-wireless and wireless systems. A lot of things, because as a part of our scholars also they do a lot of things. तो वो लोग भी थोड़ा थोड़ा ज्ञान देता रहता है. वो पुजारी को भक्त भी ज्ञान देता रहता है. मैं तो पुजारी हूँ सरस्वती देवी का, तो भक्त लोग आता है टेम्पल में, I mean my scholars, ये पुजारी को भी थोड़ा ज्ञान दे के जाता है. So it is that part of that ज्ञान. Development of communication systems, lot of work was done. But what I look forward for future is through the earth communication systems, if you can develop. And those people who are from electronic background, they can know. If they can come out with some system, that is a excellent technology we can give to not only mining industries, for many things, civil constructions, tunnels, underground caverns, and we are going for even underground space technology. That is a subject we have. Underground space technology, where you are thinking of going to the moon and living there for some time. We already planned for underground even constructions where my person can live happily, where this pollution of that air there, but of course air conditioning is required. That's a different issue. This is a schematic layout how it should be done. And underground communications. It can be 3 kilometers away from some of our audience, maybe ladies with very good gold ornaments. But I stopped even touching gold because the gold is useless as far as scientific or health or technology. To some extent, okay, to some extent, right? But for ornamental purpose, no. And why we should import 700 tons of gold in India when we are producing only 2 tons from Atti gold mine and other places. So of course that is eye opener for the people who love that. I am not blaming who love it, right? It is a personal opinion. And the development of this type of technology is required in future for communication systems, and it can be leaky feeder based systems, trapped miner communication systems, induction based hoist communication system, line of sight or whatever communication system. In that way, surface mines, a little bit already I told, these give so many disasters what took place. Generally in mining we call, when they are involved more than 10, we call it as a disaster. So like that we have, this is the biggest disaster in that way is in US. That is a Bingham Canyon mine. Now you can see. But this can be monitored with proper instrumentation. You may not ever not to happen, but even if it is happening, at least if you have some warning, I can save the life and some property. And design is a different aspect. And after implementing the design, because of Ashutosh साहब तो सही समय में question पूछा है, that there is a probability, there is a design mistake. Reason is very clear now to all the audience who are there in this. 100% right result cannot be given. That may be possible in solid mechanics, not in rock mechanics or geotechnical engineering. And these are some of that along with my PhD scholars. Then, but you please note that there are 5 dead bodies under this when we have taken these photos. It is not from any website, our own investigations. Because we are there just a day after this disaster, our industry wanted us. I went with my PhD scholars and installed some instruments. I can give so many experiences, but depending on the time and all, I said 15-20 minutes, I will do that. So now this is another incident. Fortunately, one of area general manager is my senior again, Elia Saab. He is fortunate, अच्छा पूजा करके गया होगा, where their driver could detect and they could save 30-40 operators working. Otherwise, this could have been the biggest disaster in India till now. Otherwise, we are naming Rajmal. But again, with the DGMS team, the Deputy Director General, Mr. Lakshminarayan, who was my colleague in Singareni Collieries, and Prabhat Saab, who was a director at that time, we all there at that mines for 1 week, training the people, their general managers, everybody, along with the present Director General of Mine Safety and other people who are already directors and Deputy Director Generals, with whom I was talking in the morning today. And some of them, they must be there in this. अगर कोई है तो हमको थोड़ा बताइए जी. Recent fatal accident, already I told. There are so many things happen like this with NDRF teams in some high power committees investigation. Inquiry cases, I was there. I can give all the details. And this is some type of innovative technologies through ministry mines. Projects we try to do in which our PhD scholars used to work. And that's what I used to say. I have not given any, I don't want for that matter. This is my personal opinion. Right? When you have so many problems in the industry, try to understand the problem. Engage our manpower to deal with that problem. Basic research, let it be done, no problem. But first you deal with that problem and develop the manpower to deal with that problem. That as a leader or as a educationist or as a research institution leadership or a policy maker, as a visionary, we should think of. And this is of course just to show, this is the oil mines, where is a Google photo and experimental studies how we have done. I am showing because this I kept for our Karthik. Karthik, are you there? If you are there, you talk afterwards when there is this one. Because he, being electronics and computer engineers, I kept them for more than 1 year in the mines.
Sir, my request is, can we conclude now?
Yes, sir. Yes, within 5 minutes. I complete. So these are that typical situations, how this transdisciplinary research is applied. That's what just I wanted to emphasize. And these are that transdisciplinary research with Ministry of Mines, wireless sensor network, IoT, cloud, fog computing, all that, how it was used, and some photon. This is in the lab, how it is tested. This is a fog IoT slope monitoring system. This developed, of course. Now हमारा बच्चे लोग अभी थोड़ा पेटेंट में भी जाएगा. We have applied for best thesis award also. And that way, I wanted to give some roadmap for the institutions who are in mineral rich states. But वो सब इसमें मैं नहीं कर रहा हूँ. That my vision for any university in these states, if they have, how education and research should be there in line with NEP 2020. My vision for university कैसा रहना चाहिए with my experiences, with some typical example of what strength, weakness, SWOT analysis of where we should concentrate, and with the ranking what we have when it comes to our Odisha, beloved Odisha state. NIT is 15 rank NIRF. Next comes a private institute, and third comes IIT Bhubaneswar. That's what I used to say. We are better than IITs. And I used to promise to my senior, who is a director of our, if time permits, he must have joined somewhere in between, Professor K.M. Rao sir. I used to tell him that we will make our NIT better than many IITs. It is already there in this, he can see. And he knows about it, of course. The Keetham, Silicon, KITS. And again, we should, this is a government institution. I was very sad to see that a place up to 7. It should have been in 3, 4 or whatever it is. This is just a personal opinion, I'm telling. So we should concentrate on outcome-based education and research. And then Centenary University. In some of these universities and all, I have been involved in a different fashion. For, of course, there are so much information I wanted to give, but I don't want at this stage. Here, we should concentrate on so many issues. That issues also I used to say as a Pancha Sutras for higher education for any typical institute, how it should concentrate on. NEP 2020 curricular element and transdisciplinary research, placement, outreach, feedback, all those things. Now I am putting it now here, my talk. There are so many issues, challenges, and with this, I also look forward for so many things, for fly ash mission, so much of modeling, what we have done with latest technologies in different mines. It can be for blasting or so many things, IoT systems. We are now developing a lab at Trident Academy of Technology. I hope some of my scholars are already there, along with their Dean R&D and other people. Samal Sahab, aap hone se baad mein you can respond. Then innovations in technology is what we wanted. Even electrical engineers, harmonics, quality improvement, how power quality improvement can be done. Using that, there may be some repetition somewhere here and there. This is what just I wanted to show. And at the end, I should not say as a mining engineer, but as a mining engineer, I say for these green technologies, to make it everything green, that our mining should be stopped. It may be bitter to say as a mining engineer, but mining in the sense, when 60% of energy, if I can get it from other source, इतना coal mining, coal इसके लिए use करने की जरूरत नहीं है. So of course our aim should be that in future. That is possible through underground coal gasification, other technologies I am showing here, and that can be done and should be done in future. And there may be some repetition already I said. And I raise a concluding last. Thanks for your kind attention. Any queries, most welcome to interact. Even later also, अभी तो आपका चिकन बिरयानी का टाइम हुआ. If not chicken biryani, fish biryani खाएंगे. Most welcome to this interaction later also. I have my email, WhatsApp, everything I have given. So this is what I want to say with Jai Hind, and I hope this must have ignited, triggered the minds of our young scientists, scholars, students, faculty, and industrialists. Now over to our organizer, please.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your large number of very good material, and it is too much to digest in a day. My request is you please come once again and give us the basically the last about 50 slides which you have shared. I think these slides needs to be discussed more. What I will do, I will make this session interaction next time for 2 hours, and the participants can directly ask the questions. That will be better. But you know, what happened many times that when everybody will speak, it becomes difficult to handle it. And that's why we don't make it an interaction type of session. However, the questions which they ask, we can discuss it later on. Even right now and later on, we used to discuss. We will transfer it through mail or WhatsApp and you can reply. With this, sir, I would like to thank you, my joint secretary, and all the participants with NIC team who has made this program successful. I would not like to take more time. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Good day, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much for patient hearing, sir. I
Thank
hope
you,
it
sir.
must have triggered some minds of our next generation.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
Smart
sir.
people to live in smart cities for smart mining and to reduce the number of BPL.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
States through technology and research educational institutions. That's what is a motto of my this talk.
Thank you. Thank you
All the
very much,
best
sir.
to everybody, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Thank
for